During the college entrance exam, I deliberately got every bonus question right, all just to make sure I'd be placed far away from the school beauty Ella. When we walked out of the exam hall, Ella's crew came at me with their usual mockery. Jack, Ella says she didn't do well. This afternoon you'd better turn in a blank paper, or you'll never get another chance to grovel at her feet. The whole group burst out laughing. I looked at Ella, her expression dripping with disgust, nodded and said, got it. But inside I thought, whoever wants to be her lapdog, go ahead, I'm done. I turned around and called our family butler right then and there, cut off every penny of support we'd been giving their family, and had them thrown out on the street. Ella called me 99 times in a fury. I didn't pick up a single one. Panicking now, are we? Where was all this energy before? In my past life, I was the son of the wealthiest man in the country, and yet I had groveled at the feet of my own family's driver's daughter. To marry her, I signed over the company my father had left me, right into her hands. She spent my money freely, while falling in love with someone else. She spoiled her boyfriend, rotten, treating him like her precious little pet, while she ran me like a servant. On her wedding day, I called her, asking to borrow a little money for medical treatment. She said coldly, these years of you clinging to me have been nothing but a nightmare. Jack, do us all a favor and get yourself reborn. As I lay dying, I finally saw the woman holding me and understood. The elite heiress I had once rejected had been waiting for me all along. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself back in senior year of high school. That year I had dozed off, slumped over my desk, when Ella shook me awake. Ryan's stomach is acting up. Go buy him some antacids, then grab lunch from the cafeteria. Load up on the meat, he's too skinny, he needs to eat more. Ryan was slouched at his desk, surrounded by a crowd fussing over him like he was royalty. Everyone was fawning over his stomachache, and of course, no one cared more than Ella. And I was Ella's brainless lapdog, dozing through class every day, spending every break fetching her food, buying her drinks, running her errands. Now that I knew I'd been reborn, looking at Ella's face only made me want to laugh. Who does she think she was, treating me like dirt? Seeing me just standing there, Ella snapped, what are you spacing out for? Go and make it quick. She walked over to Ryan, and gently patted his back. Ryan glanced over at me, and said to Ella, it's not right to send Jack, I'll go myself. What's the big deal? He loves doing this stuff. If I didn't ask him, he'd be upset, right Jack? She looked at me. I forced a thin smile, said nothing and headed to the cafeteria. This time I lined up and got 2 full meals. A classmate nearby spotted me and let out a little laugh. Fetching lunch for the queen again? She likes Ryan, you know, someone on her level, not a nobody like you. I asked flatly. What do you mean a nobody? They sneered. You're a servant's son, riding to school with her every day and thinking you can actually marry her. Wake up, a guy as dumb and useless as you. You'll spend your life as her family's servant, doing her laundry, sweeping her floors, changing her kids' diapers. I let out a bitter laugh. Ella told you I'm a servant's son? I had liked her, that was the only reason. I'd let her ride in my private car to school every single day. But somehow, in everyone else's eyes, Ella had become the wealthy heiress, and I had become the servant's son. Seeing me ask such a question, the other person rolls their eyes at me. Whatever, just get her lunch back there before it goes cold. They laughed again. The people around me joined in, laughing at the lapdog, laughing at the fool who dared to dream. The bell rang. Jack walked out of the cafeteria. But I didn't go back to class. I sat down by the flower bed and ate both meals myself. I couldn't even remember the last time I'd had a proper meal. Without money, decent food was out of the question. Every time, I'd wait until the market was closing and pick through the vegetables others had left behind. Meat was nothing but a fantasy. Finishing both plates barely took the edge off the hunger. When I got back to class, the first bell had already rung. Ella looked up and snapped, why are you only just getting back? Where's the medicine? What medicine? I looked at her flatly. Gone was every trace of the warmth I used to show her. Ella stared at me speechless. The antacids for Ryan, I told you his stomach was hurting. Are you deaf? You can't even handle one simple thing? I glanced at Ryan, who did look pale. What exactly is Ryan to me? Why should I be buying him anything? Ryan's family wasn't well off, but ever since he and Ella got close, she had been lavishing attention on him. Every time my father gave me something nice, Ella would take it straight to Ryan. Even the watch Ryan was wearing right now had been bought with my card by the two of them, using my money, enjoying everything I had, and treating me like hired help. Ella said, Jack, you want to make a scene? Keep this up and don't blame me for ignoring you. You'll be begging for my forgiveness soon enough. I stared at her, almost amused. What exactly do I need your forgiveness for? What did I do wrong? When I dare to argue with Ella, everyone else looks over. Since when did he grow a spine? Ella was caught off guard. She stared at me, thinking of all the times I'd come crawling to her. She warned, fine, then don't bother riding home with me this afternoon. I nodded. Sure. I walked to my seat and sat down, as if her words barely registered. Just a casual, effortless agreement. Bree, who sat next to Ryan, stepped in immediately. Excuse me, Jack, what is your problem? All you had to do was buy some medicine. You couldn't even do that. Can't you see Ryan isn't feeling well? I gave her a cold look. Then you go buy it. Bree fired back, full of righteous indignation. That's your job. Why would I go? I have nothing to do with Ryan, so why is it my job? Bree pointed at me. You're Ella's family servant. Isn't this just what you do? That set me off. I turned to Ella. Have you been going around telling people I'm your family servant? Ella flinched slightly when my eyes landed on her. Of course, it wasn't something she'd said outright, People had just assumed, seeing her arrive every day in a luxury car, she'd simply never corrected them. She would never tell anyone that her father was just a driver, that she was the driver's daughter. Now somehow I was the one making a scene. Ella walked over, she sat next to me. Fine, forget the medicine, I'll get it myself. She figured it was simple jealousy. Me refusing to do anything for Ryan was just me pining for her. She glanced at me. So where's the food? No medicine, fine, but you at least got lunch, right? Someone had already told her they'd seen me get 2 trays. I said calmly. I ate it. What? You ate both of them? She looked almost personally offended. I nodded. The kids in front turned around with looks of disgust. What are you, an animal? You finished 2 whole trays? They were used to kissing Ella's boots and looking down on me. Before I'd put up with them, they were Ella's crowd and I'd wanted to stay on their good side, hoping they'd put in a good word for me. Now I realized I'd been far too tolerant. Every time Ella treated them to something, it was my money paying for it. I said calmly, I spent my own money. 2 trays, 20 trays, it's nobody's business but mine. The kids in front went quiet, their expressions darkening. One of them muttered, his own money? Doesn't Ella's family pay for everything he has? But Ella was already fuming, especially over the fact that I hadn't brought her lunch. She hadn't eaten at all. The anger boiled over. Jack, you brought this on yourself, she said. Let's see how long you can keep this up. She stood up and grabbed her things, then said to Bree, switch seats with me. You sit next to him. Every time she was unhappy, this was her punishment, refusing to sit beside me. After all, I had begged for that seat. She was supposed to be my tutor, sitting next to me so she could help me study. But thinking back, she had never tutored me once. All she ever did was give me orders. She seemed to think the move would rattle me. It didn't. I ignored her completely. Ella hadn't eaten. Ryan was still suffering from his stomachache. She sat nearby, expression dark, shooting a glance at me by the window. This time, Ella was genuinely furious. She was already planning what she'd do when I came crawling back to apologize. After school, the Maybach was waiting at the gate. I walked straight to it without a second glance. By now the whole school knew I'd crossed Ella. Everyone was waiting to watch me fall flat on my face. When I got in without hesitation, the whispers started flying. Didn't he refuse to buy her lunch? And now he's freeloading in her car? A servant's son acting like the young master? Ella isn't even here yet and he just helps himself. Ella's way too patient. If I were her, I'd have fired that ungrateful little nobody a long time ago. I heard every word, I couldn't care less. I settled into my seat and said to the driver, let's go. The driver glanced at me. But Miss Ella isn't here yet, let's wait a bit. Sometimes Ella ran late because of student council. I always waited. He'd expected the same today. Instead, I was telling him to leave. The driver wasn't following my orders and was actually taking Ella's side. I almost laughed. Uncle Steve, my father has one child, me. Since when do we have a young miss? Did you two have a fight? Uncle Steve said with concern. Don't worry, I'll have a word with her. Don't bother, just drive. I don't want to ride with her and I don't want to see her anymore. Uncle Steve hesitated, not moving. He knew better than anyone how badly I used to cave to his daughter. Every time she said something, I would never dare push back. He figured even if he ignored me, the worst I'd do was let Ella scold me a little. He'd already started imagining a future where I inherited the family fortune, and his daughter got it all. He'd long stopped seeing himself as just the driver. He was already playing the role of father-in-law. Are you going to drive or not? I frowned. My father had actually wanted to let him go for a while. Word had gotten around that Uncle Steve was gambling on the side. My father didn't feel comfortable keeping someone like that around. But back then I'd lost my mind. I had defended him every time. Kept him on because as long as he stayed, Ella stayed too. I'd sung his praises. Told everyone he was wonderful to me. That was the only reason he still had this job. And now he wouldn't even listen to his own employer. They arrived. The moment Uncle Steve spotted Ella at the gate, he jumped out of the car. Ella walked over with Ryan, her arm steadying him. Uncle Steve opened the door. Ella moved to help Ryan in. Because of my feelings for Ella, just to keep her close, I had let Ryan tag along every single day. The driver would drop Ryan off first before taking us home. And in the mornings I'd get up early just to pick Ryan up first. Before Ryan could get in, I spoke up. Didn't someone say she wasn't riding with me today? And yet, here she is at my car. The crowd watching couldn't believe it. What is Jack's problem? That's Ella's car. Right, he's not letting her get in? They all started talking at once. Ella stared at me, her expression stiff. She had no idea what had gotten into me today. I wasn't giving her any way out. Do you have to do this? I decided to forgive you for lunch. Jack, if you keep this up, I don't need your forgiveness. Go home on your own, don't ride with me. Ella's face went pale, then flushed. She knew, in everyone's eyes, she was the wealthy girl. If she didn't get in this car, her whole image would fall apart. So she reached in and yanked me out of the car, then helped Ryan in. Ella, don't push it. I'll admit, she actually got to me. I had forgotten so much from before. But seeing her face now, I genuinely couldn't understand how I had ever put up with her, or thought she was someone worth loving. Ella ignored me entirely. She wasn't interested in reasoning. She turned to her father. Drive. Uncle Steve drove away, and I was left standing on the sidewalk. The crowd watching couldn't hold it together. They burst out laughing. Serves him right. That's what you get for being so unreasonable. I pulled out my phone. This phone was one Ella had bought herself, a cheap Nokia, a few $100 at most. To impress her, I had given her the brand new iPhone my father got me for my birthday and taken this piece of junk in return. Back then, I thought it was a way to protect her pride. Now, staring at this sad excuse for a phone, I almost laughed. but I called my father. A moment later the Maybach came back around. It pulled up to the gate. Uncle Steve got out looking uncomfortable. Young master, he'd clearly just gotten an earful. Get them out. I'm not sharing a ride with them. Uncle Steve turned to the car. Ella was already helping Ryan out. Both of them caught off guard. Ryan looked shaken. Jack, if you have a problem with me, fine. But you don't have to go after Ella. She's always been good to you. Ella stopped him with a hand. Don't bother. Once they were both out, I got in. Before we pulled away, I rolled down the window, smiled, and gave Ella a little wave. Bye. Uncle Steve caught my eye in the rearview mirror, clearly not expecting me to go this far. Young master, he started carefully. Arguments happen. Don't take it too hard. I'll have Ella come apologize. Though without a ride she'll probably have to take the bus. Who knows what time she'll get home. Everyone else can take the bus. Why can't she? Uncle Steve, have you forgotten who signs your paycheck? If you have a problem with me, you're welcome to quit. Lecturing me. All because he thought his daughter had a shot at my family's money, he'd stop treating me like his employer. If I hadn't called my father, he would have left me standing there without a second thought. Uncle Steve went quiet immediately. Back home, Auntie Chen met me at the door. Young master, you're back alone? Where's Miss Ella? There is no Miss Ella in this house anymore, I said. Auntie Chen blinked. When did the young master finally come to his senses? I had treated Ella so well for so long that both she and her father had completely lost sight of their place. Auntie Chen had wanted to say something many times. She never dared, because she knew it would upset me. Now hearing this from me, she was genuinely moved. She looked at me. She had always been the kindest to me among all the household staff. But before, because she used to manage things around Ella, I had unfairly resented her for it. After Ella took over the household in my past life, Auntie Chen was the first one she drove out. Thinking back on everything, looking at her now, my eyes stung. I'm heading upstairs, I told her. Of course. Oh, Miss Sophia is here. Should I send her away? Sophia came by the house often, but because my father had arranged her for me, and I was obsessed with Ella, I had resented Sophia's very existence. Every time she came, I refused to see her. I'd just have someone send her away. In the end, we had barely crossed paths at all, but as I lay dying, it was her people who got me to the hospital. She had never forgotten that she was my fiancée. I stopped Auntie Chen. I'll see her. Where is she? In the backyard playing with Snowball. I walked out to the backyard and found Sophia feeding Snowball. I had wanted that dog myself, but Ella said she didn't like dogs, so I had stopped going near him. Yet here was Sophia, completely at ease with Snowball. She was in her school's blue uniform, the most ordinary thing in the world, and somehow she made it look stunning. Thinking of what I had heard about her before I died, a woman with everything, who had spent all those years alone, my eyes went red. Sophia finished petting Snowball and looked up. I was standing at the doorway. She hadn't heard me come. She started toward me, then caught herself, remembering how much I had always disliked her, and stopped. Young Master Jack. Sophia was beautiful but composed beyond her years. She was the same age as me, yet she carried herself like someone in her mid-20s, and academically she had held the top ranking in the entire province. She was the one person Ella couldn't stand. Ella always said Sophia's success was just a product of privilege, that her family had given her every resource and advantage. That was the only reason she could be this good. If I had what she has, I'd be just as good. Every time Sophia's grades came out, Ella couldn't hide her irritation, and I had let that feeling infect me. I had started treating Sophia like an enemy too. But thinking about it honestly, we had barely even spoken. She had never done a single thing to me. This time I kept my feelings in check and asked quietly, "Did you need something?" "Just came to check on you," Sophia said. When I didn't respond, she read the room gracefully. "I know you don't want me here, I'll go." She hadn't even expected to see me. She had really just come for Snowball. The fact that I had come out at all was already more than she had hoped for. She was about to leave. I spoke before I could stop myself. "Do you want to stay for dinner?" Sophia froze. She looked at me with genuine surprise. "Is that okay?" The evening sun fell across me, softening everything. "Of course it is." Ella wasn't back yet. She was dropping Ryan off. In the past, I would have held dinner for her without question. Seeing me ready to eat this early, Auntie Chen was surprised. "Are we not waiting for Miss Ella?" "What for?" The household staff had grown so used to watching me revolve around Ella, that now that I'd stopped, they didn't know what to do with themselves. Auntie Chen didn't push further. "Of course, I'll get everything ready. Also, let Uncle Steve know he doesn't need to come in tomorrow. Or ever." Auntie Chen paused, then caught herself. It wasn't her place to ask. Understood. With Ella's father officially let go, I finally sat down in the dining room. Sophia had been sneaking glances at me. The moment I sat down, she quickly looked away. I hadn't expected her to be this flustered. It made me want to tease her a little. "Why won't you look at me? Am I that bad to look at? My grades might be terrible, but I'm not hard on the eyes. If Ella hadn't dragged me down the way she did, I would never have ended up the way I did." Sophia turned back to me, expression perfectly calm. "You're not, but if you looked closely." Her ears had gone completely red. I smiled. "By the way, I heard your grades are incredible." She wasn't used to me being warm with her. "They're all right," she said. "Do you know any good tutors? I could really use a recommendation." Counting on Ella was obviously no longer an option. This time around, I wasn't going to coast through life assuming my father would protect me forever. I had barely cracked a textbook in my past life. While I still had the chance, I was going to fix that. Sophia had connections. A tutor she recommended would probably actually be worth something. A tutor? What about Ella? She had heard that my tutor was a classmate, which was why Ella had been living at my house all this time. She's been let go because Ella had never respected me. She had zero patience for tutoring me, and every penny I'd paid her had been completely wasted. Sophia looked surprised. I was clearly serious. This wasn't a joke. She picked up her glass and took a sip, steadying herself. I don't have a tutor. I've always just studied on my own. If you don't mind, I could come every day and tutor you myself. She didn't really expect me to say yes. Given that I had never even spared her a glance before, being invited to dinner was already far beyond what she'd hoped for, so when my face lit up the way it did, she wasn't prepared. Really? Sophia nodded, almost flustered by my reaction. Whenever you're ready. Absolutely, I said, genuinely happy. Of course, I just don't want to take up your study time. It won't, Sophia said, her face calm, but her eyes soft in a way that was hard to miss. It won't affect me at all. She had already finished the entire high school curriculum and had a guaranteed university placement, but she didn't say any of that, afraid it might put me off. Then thank you, I said. My grades are terrible, just don't give up on me. Ella had good grades too, but not a drop of patience. If I didn't get something on the first explanation, she would just yell at me. My grades had actually been average before. Under her tutoring, they had only gotten worse, and my confidence had gone with them. I won't, Sophia said. I'll come by after school then. The two of us sat there over dinner. Sophia was quiet. I picked up my chopsticks and set some food on her plate. Make yourself at home, no need to be polite. And it was right at that moment that Ella walked in, having just dropped Ryan off. She had already gotten the news about her father, and he had let her have it. She walked in to find me eating without her, every dish already touched. Her face went cold instantly. I glanced at her and kept eating. Ella had come to confront me about her father, but then she saw Sophia sitting there. Why is she here? She said, visibly annoyed. Before, I had kept my distance from every other girl just to keep Ella happy. Every time Sophia came by, I had turned her away without even looking at her. And now here she was, at my dinner table. She's my guest, I said. Do you have a problem with that? Ella sat down slowly, watching me. You invited her here just to get at me, didn't you? She had always hated Sophia. In every competition, as long as Sophia's name was at the top, first place was out of reach. Sophia sat quietly, saying nothing. I looked at Ella. You're overthinking it. Ella, you're not that important. There was a time when I thought she was my entire world, everything I had given in her direction. But given a second chance, all I felt when I looked at her was disgust. Loving someone like this had only ever dragged me under. If you think seeing me with another girl is going to upset you, Jack, you've really got the wrong idea about where we stand. I actually wish you'd get close to someone else. At least then you'd stop coming around bothering me. With that, she got up and went straight upstairs to her room. I was speechless. Once Ella was gone, I caught the shift in Sophia's expression. Something complicated had moved through it. Don't listen to her, I said quickly. I wasn't entirely sure she wouldn't take it the wrong way, but Sophia said nothing. She had gone quiet, her warmth replaced by a noticeable chill. After dinner, I walked her to the door. Take care on the way home. Okay. She left without another word, quiet as always. I went back inside. Ella was coming down the stairs. She had changed out of her uniform jacket and was wearing just a short-sleeved shirt. For all the terrible things she had done, she really was beautiful, soft-looking, almost gentle. That was exactly how she had fooled me before. Now Ella turned to me and said, "Why did you fire my father?" She hadn't brought it up in front of Sophia. She couldn't afford to let anyone know she was just the driver's daughter. Making a scene in front of Sophia would have been humiliating. Do I need to explain myself to you for firing a driver? That's my father, Ella said. Everything today was my call. He had nothing to do with it. If you want to punish someone, punish me. Go ahead, fire me too. The word fire gave me a second wind. I looked straight at her. Gladly. What did you just say? Ella stared at me. You've always thought I was stupid, haven't you? Fine, it's over. Pack your things and move out. I'll find a different tutor. Ever since you started tutoring me, my grades have only gotten worse. Frankly, you're not worth what I've been paying you. Ella thought I was bluffing. She couldn't believe I was actually going through with it. Your grades are bad because you can't keep up. I explained the same problem to Ryan once and he gets it immediately. And you? You're hopeless. That's on me for even trying. It's the same even if you switch to another teacher. No one can teach you more. The problem is you. She was still putting this on me. Get out of my house, Jack. Ella's brow furrowed. You're still a student. Focus on your studies. All you ever think about is chasing after me. No wonder your grades are a disaster. What are you even talking about? Ella let out a cold laugh. These little games of yours, you're just jealous that Ryan and I are close. You feel bad just because I don't want to be in a relationship with you. I just want to focus on school and get into a good university. Unlike you, even if you never studied a day in your life, your family's money would take care of everything. So don't expect anything from me. I stared at her. For a moment I was genuinely stunned. Then it hit me. Who said anything about being together? Ella, where does this confidence come from? Do you actually think I want to be with you? Without me, you are nothing. Ella just thought I was being stubborn. Think whatever you want, but I'm warning you, if you invite Sophia over for dinner again, don't expect me to acknowledge you. She turned and went straight to her room, slamming the door behind her. Quite a temper, as if this were her house. I went to my room and called Auntie Chen. Tomorrow, move Ella's things out of her room. There's no room in this house for someone who wants to walk all over me. I got Sophia's number from Auntie Chen and saved it. Then I sent her a message. Did you get home okay? No reply. The next morning I woke up on my own time. No more early pickups for Ryan. I could finally sleep until I was ready. I assumed Ella would be gone. Instead, she was sitting at the dining table waiting for me. I found a seat and started on my breakfast. Every day, rushing out to pick up Ryan. I'd barely eaten a proper breakfast at home in months. Now I looked up at Ella sitting there waiting, that stubborn expression on her face. Even now she still thought she could play me. I finished breakfast and headed out. Ella followed right behind me. The new driver was already there and opened the door for me. I got in. Ella got in after me. I looked at her. Ella, Weren't you the one who said she wasn't riding with me? I remember every word from yesterday. Ella pressed her lips together and said nothing. If her father hadn't pressured her to smooth things over, she never would have. A little money and he thinks he can push people around. Who does he think he is? But her father still needed a job. I didn't waste any more time on her. Just told the driver to take us to school. I stepped out. Ella followed. We used to always arrive with Ryan. Today he had taken the bus. Seeing Ella, he jogged over. His eyes landed on me. Yesterday's scene had confused him. A servant's son, acting like that toward Ella? Seeing us arrive together, he asked, "You two made up?" I didn't bother with either of them. I walked straight inside. Ella watched me go, frowning as I didn't even pause for her. "There's nothing worth arguing about with him," she said to Ryan. Ryan shook his head. "Either way, letting a servant's son treat you like that, you're too patient." "People are talking, Ella. They're saying Jack is the real young master." "Ignore them," Ella said. "My father and Jack have a good relationship. He asked me to look out for Jack. I can't just abandon him." That made sense. If it was for her father's sake. Ryan relaxed slightly. I got to class. Bree was already there, blocking my seat. "Move," I said. Bree looked up at me. "You've got some nerve. Yesterday you just left Ella and Ryan stranded at the gate and had the driver take off." I looked at her and laughed softly. "My car, my right. Who are you again?" My confidence caught everyone off guard. "Are you saying that Maybach is yours? What else would it be?" I said flatly. Bree let out a short laugh. "Please, we all know exactly who you are, Jack. You think you can play the young master here? Really? Word is that driver is your dad. Your whole family works for the Jungs. Ella's just too kind to make a fuss. Otherwise she'd have thrown you out ages ago. Don't push your luck." Bree was close with Ryan, who was always around Ella. When she said it like that, people believed her. Ella and Ryan appeared at the classroom door. Ella's expression was tight. Because what Bree had just said wasn't really an attack on me, it was an attack on her. She walked over to Bree. "Get back to your seat." Bree shot Ella a reluctant look, clearly sensing her displeasure, and moved her things. Ella sat down next to me again. I didn't react. Her movements meant nothing to me anymore. She was the teacher's favorite and well-liked by everyone. No one would question her changing seats. Bree settled in next to Ryan, still sulking. She said to Ryan, "What is Ella doing? Jack has been walking all over her and she's still protecting him. He's literally living at her place now. Her father asked her to look after him," Ryan said. "That's all there is to it. Don't read into it." "Oh," Bree said. "That explains it. He actually claimed that car was his." Ella's phone is obviously expensive, and the gifts she gives Ryan aren't cheap either. But Jack's phone looks just like mine, and he wants to play rich boy? Who's going to believe that? I checked my phone quietly. Sophia had finally replied, one word, "Yeah, ice cold." Yesterday she had been warm and easy to talk to. Then she left and turned distant, and she'd only just replied to a message I sent last night. Ella was sitting right beside me and caught a glimpse of my screen. The contact name, Sophia. She frowned. Nothing obvious had changed, yet from yesterday onward I felt like a completely different person. I take out my phone and send a message to Sophia. "Still coming this afternoon for tutoring?" Her reply came quickly, one word, "Yes." Good enough. I put my phone away. I threw myself into class, the focus I had never had before. At lunch Ryan came over to get Ella. She glanced at me automatically. "Aren't you going to eat?" My focus today had clearly confused her. No dozing off, and now I was still carefully organizing my notes after the bell. Once my head had been full of nothing but her. Even I have moments when I study seriously. Seeing that I'm still busy after class, Ella can't help but ask curiously. I acted like I hadn't heard a word, ignoring her directly. Ryan glanced at Ella. "If he's not going, let's just go. We can bring something back for him." "Don't bother," I said. Ryan was a good person. At least that was how everyone saw him. Even when others mocked me behind my back, Ryan stayed decent. But I didn't want to owe anyone anything. I gathered my things neatly and stood up, but went my own way. Ryan fell in beside Ella. "What's going on with him? He's completely ignoring you. What did you do?" Ella was just as confused. She wanted to figure it out too. Normally, no matter how cold she was, I would always come crawling back like a needy little dog. But from yesterday onward she hadn't done anything different, and yet here I was. She couldn't figure it out. Ryan said, "By the way, are you inviting him to your birthday party this weekend?" This weekend was Ella's birthday. Last year she had celebrated at the Imperial View Hotel. I had booked everything, organized every detail, and let her invite whoever she wanted from school. One night, hundreds of thousands spent. Every classmate who attended had raved about it. Being invited to Ella's birthday party was considered an honor. This year was no different. I had taken care of everything days in advance. If I hadn't said what I said about firing her, Ella wouldn't have given it a second thought. But after yesterday, and now today's coldness, she couldn't help but worry. If I didn't show up, could she even have the party? She watched me walk away and told herself to calm down. "Don't overthink it. He'll show up, he always does. He would never skip my birthday. Maybe this whole cold act is his way of building up to a surprise." She relaxed slightly. "He'll be there," she told Ryan. "Yeah," Ryan agreed. "He's never missed one." That afternoon, Ella and Ryan had rehearsals for a school event. I didn't wait. I went straight home. Sophia was already there. When I walked in, she and Snowball both came to meet me. Seeing her there, I smiled. Maybe it was the bond we had shared in another life. But every time I saw her now, it felt like something rare and worth holding on to. Sophia blinked at my smile. She was used to the cold, indifferent version of me. All this warmth lately kept catching her off guard. She couldn't quite hold my gaze. I said with a smile, "You're early. Let's head to the study." I led her upstairs. I ran into a lot of things in class today that didn't make sense to me. I was hoping you could help. We sat down in the study. That seat beside me had always been Ella's. But even if she sits here, she never teaches me seriously. She would have said I was the one wasting her time. Sophia sat beside me and pulled out 2 practice tests. She wanted to gauge where I was starting from. I worked through them carefully and handed them over. Sophia looked them over in silence. I shifted uncomfortably. Sorry, I really am hopeless. It's not your fault, Sophia said. Your approach to studying just needs work. Let me start with the basics, is that okay? I nodded. When Sophia is teaching, she keeps her head down the whole time, never looks at me and lectures very earnestly. But her explanations were clearer than anything I had ever heard. Things that had baffled me for months suddenly clicked the moment she explained them. Sophia had been going for a while. She was getting thirsty. When she finally looked up, she caught me staring. She swallowed, a little self-conscious, and looked back at the paper. Is something wrong? Do you have a question? I was just thinking. You're so patient with me, but on your phone you're completely cold. 2 words total. Is it because of the thing with Ella? Are you upset with me? No, Sophia said. Family came over yesterday. I was busy and didn't see your message until morning. By the time I saw it, it was already morning. If you ever need anything, just call me anytime. We were deep into studying. When my phone rang, I picked up. Ella's voice came through. Jack, what do you think you're doing? What did I do now? Her accusatory tone, I genuinely had no idea what I had done. You had them throw out all my things. I glanced at Sophia, no point hiding it. I directly said, I told you yesterday, you've been let go. Which means you have no reason to be in my house anymore. I'm in the middle of a session. Don't bother me. I hung up. Ella stood at the door, staring at her bags piled outside. She couldn't believe I had actually done it. I was really throwing her out. I put the phone down. Let's keep going. Sophia replied quietly and said nothing more. A few minutes later, the study door flew open. Ella stood there. Her face was dark with fury. Her eyes swept over me and Sophia, a flicker of contempt in her gaze. Seeing her appear here, I stand up and ask, what do you want? I thought you didn't like me. I thought I wasn't good enough. And now you're the one who can't let go. Ella stepped forward, voice sharp. Do you find it funny humiliating me like this? Sophia stood up instinctively and moved in front of me. Humiliate you? Seeing Ella so angry, I retort. I think you've got this backwards. How exactly did I humiliate you? Ella, I'm the one who's been humiliated. I paid for everything in your life. And while you and Ryan were inseparable, I followed you around like hired help, serving you both. Swallowing your coldness every single day. You don't call that humiliation? All I had done was take back what was mine, and she called that humiliation. Ella's lips pressed together. Don't think bringing someone here is going to pressure me into anything. I will never like you. I will never be with you. Let me make that absolutely clear. She turned to leave and walked straight into the door. I opened the window, the sound carrying down below. I watched her come downstairs, pick up her bags and walk away without looking back. Clean exit. Ella had always been proud in front of me. Poor family, but a spine made of steel. No matter how much I gave her, she had never bent for money. That was what I had loved about her once. Now it just seemed absurd. Sophia looked over at me from across the room. Jack. I turned, she was still there. Sorry, let's keep going. Sophia looked at me. Maybe I should go. You don't seem like you're in a great place. I'm fine, really. I was just thinking about some dumb things I used to do. It's not about Ella. Watching Ella leave actually made me feel lighter. At least now I didn't have to dread what was coming. Away from Ella, I wouldn't get sick this time. I wouldn't end up the same way. I'll head out then, Sophia said and moved toward the door. I stepped forward and caught her hand. Sophia froze. She turned and looked at me. What is it? I didn't quite know what I was doing, but I could see she wasn't entirely okay. Every time Ella showed up and said the things she said, Sophia would quietly start pulling away from me. My closeness with Ella had been obvious. I had never hidden how I felt about her. Everyone, including Sophia, had assumed that I was in love with Ella, and honestly, I had. If not for that wretched ending in my past life, I might never have woken up. I let go of her hand and looked at her. Are you free Saturday? I want to go to the Imperial View Hotel for dinner. Want to come? The food there was exceptional. After a past life spent half starving, I just wanted to eat well. Before I would have taken Ella without hesitation. Now, she was the last person I wanted to bring. Sophia was the match my father had arranged for me. As long as I didn't ruin it, she would probably become my wife after graduation. I used to resent my father for making the arrangement without asking me. But looking at it now, she was every bit as beautiful as Ella, and on top of that she had a far better family. She chose me. If anything, I was the lucky one. You're not going with her? Sophia said. She meant Ella. So you want me to be with her? I asked. You want me to go back to avoiding you? Of course not, Sophia said without hesitation. Then it's settled. See you Saturday. Saturday afternoon. I arrived a little late. At the entrance I spotted plenty of familiar faces, all dressed up and looking their best. Bree caught sight of me first and let out a laugh. Jack, you actually showed your face here. I frowned. Why can't I come? The owner here is a close friend of my father's. I'm a very important person. I come whenever I want. Give me one reason I shouldn't be here. Bree snorted. Ella hasn't given you the time of day all week. And now you're showing up to her birthday party? The nerve? Ella's birthday. Right, that was today. I had been so focused on studying lately that it had completely slipped my mind. If they hadn't mentioned it, I might not have remembered it all. I had already made arrangements with the hotel. This was Ella's 18th birthday. Last year I had thrown her an enormous celebration here. Everyone had talked about it for weeks, but it was also on that day that I found out about Ella and Ryan. I had confronted her, and she had been completely unapologetic. Ryan and I like each other. Why shouldn't we be together? Jack, can you stop sticking your nose in my life? I had stopped talking to her in a rage. We were at a standoff for 2 whole days, and then I had broken first and apologized. From that birthday onward, the two of them had gotten bolder, right in front of my face. Eventually I'd begged her to be with me, And to get her to marry me, I had even gone so far as to sign away the company my father had left me. What a fool. Standing here now, watching the crowd enjoy themselves, I had no interest in any of them. All of this had been arranged by me. All of it charged to me. And now that I'd cut Ella off, she had still brought everyone here to spend freely. I was genuinely curious how she planned to handle the bill. I ignored the jeers and walked straight to the elevator. My table with Sophia was already reserved. I wondered if she had arrived. The elevator opened. Ella was right there, deep in conversation with Ryan, until she saw me. Her eyes locked onto me immediately. She smiled. I knew you'd show up, and here you are. She walked toward me with a trace of smugness. Didn't you say you weren't coming? Don't think showing up means I've forgiven you. I'm still angry, Jack. Every time. She used her anger like a leash. I looked at her, the corner, my mouth lifting. Did you need something? Aren't you here for my birthday? Ella said. Why would I be here for your birthday? You didn't even invite me. You've got a whole crowd of people. You won't miss one. What is that supposed to? Ella stared at me, irritated. Still playing games, she thought. Picking a fight on her birthday just to get under her skin. Just then, the restaurant manager walked over. Young Master Jack. I asked about Sophia. The manager nodded. She's already here. Please take me to her. The manager turned to lead the way. Ella followed right behind me. Jack, are you done with this? Seeing that I'm still going to look for Sophia, it's just that she's too good-tempered. I glance at her. I'm not the one making a scene. You are. You told me to stop following you around, said I was annoying, now I have, so what's the problem? Your boyfriend is waiting, I say, glancing over at Ryan, who looks like he wants to follow us but thinks better of it. Ryan has never seen Ella come to me like this before. Of course, I know exactly why she's doing it. It's not me she can't bear to lose. It's the money in my pocket. She never liked me. Yet she accepted everything I gave her without a second thought. She'd say no with her mouth, then take it with a smile. Now that I'm pulling back, she's panicking. After all, she's been planning this birthday party for so long. She can't let it fall apart now. Ella says, if this is about me and Ryan, I can keep my distance from him. So can you please stop causing trouble? For the first time ever, she's the one backing down. That alone tells me how much this party means to her. Then again, if she didn't care about appearances, she never would have built that rich girl image at school, and she certainly wouldn't have invited half the school to her birthday. Turns out she's afraid of looking bad after all. I've seen Ella play the cold, untouchable queen. Watching her fold over a birthday party is something else entirely. I find it rather entertaining. I give a slow nod. Right. It's your birthday. Wouldn't want to ruin everyone's fun, would we? I turn to the manager. I made a reservation here. The Jade Hall under the name Ella. The manager checks her records. Yes, that's correct, young Master Jack. Since today is her birthday, go ahead and let her use the hall. I look back at Ella. That works for you? Ella breathes a sigh of relief when she sees I've softened my stance. She looks at me and says, so this was all just to break me and Ryan up. You can't stand seeing us together. You're overthinking it. I don't care who you're with. Ella, give it time. You'll understand. Without me, you're nothing. The manager stands quietly to the side. My words strip Ella of every shred of dignity. I'm done with you, she snaps and walks away without looking back. The manager glances at me. I'll have the Jade Hall prepared right away. I nod. One thing, nobody leaves until she settles the bill herself. Not a single person. Understood, young Master Jack. Once everything is in order, I go find Sophia. Ella makes her way back to Ryan. Ryan sees her dark expression. How'd it go? What did you two talk about? Nothing worth mentioning, Ella says. She glances at Ryan, steady, gentle, attentive as always, as if she'd ever break up with Ryan for Jack's sake. Dream on. Once this party is over, she's cutting Jack off completely. Not even a polite smile. Sophia isn't in her school uniform today. She's wearing a dress. The style is simple, but on her it carries an effortless elegance. When I walk in, she's absorbed in the menu. She hears me and looks up, our eyes meeting. I smile. Been waiting long? No, I just got here too. Sophia studies me for a moment. I'm in a plain tee today, bright and easy looking, though I'm on the thin side. I slide naturally into the seat beside her. Sophia didn't expect me to sit so close. She stiffens slightly. There are plenty of other seats. I don't notice her discomfort. Have you ordered yet? Not yet, still looking. Let me see. I lean over, reading the menu right alongside her. Sophia can't focus on the menu anymore. Her attention keeps drifting to me. Whatever shampoo I use, it smells good. Clean and fresh, not overwhelming at all. I'm in the mood for something bold and heavy. It's the kind of thing that makes you feel alive. Those days of illness, never enough food, never warm enough, never able to sleep, those days were pure torment. Even now, reborn, I sometimes dream I'm back in that life. The food is fiery. I fan my mouth with my hand. I reach for the watermelon juice and take a sip. Sophia asks, do you like spicy food? It's fine. I look up at her. You? I do too, she says, playing along. She picks up her chopsticks and helps herself. We're in a private room, a server standing quietly nearby. A short while later, the owner of the Imperial View Hotel walks in. His name is Miles. I greet him politely. Uncle Miles. Miles looks at me with a smile. Jack, you're here too. The way he says it tells me he didn't come for me. Sure enough, he heads straight for Sophia. Miss Sophia, he says respectfully. Welcome to our hotel. Please don't hesitate to let me know if anything falls short. He knows who Sophia is because of his close ties with my father. Most people have no idea who she really is. No one knows the Sophia family's youngest daughter from the capital is quietly living here in this city. Sophia gives a brief acknowledgement and goes back to eating. She's so cold. I always thought she was warm. Seeing her now, I realize Sophia just doesn't like talking to people. Miles stands there a moment, pours her water himself. She says nothing. A keep your distance energy fills the entire room. Finally, Miles reads the room and says, I'll leave you to enjoy your meal. Take your time. Uncle Miles, wait, I stop him. At the sound of this voice he stops walking, then he turns back. Young Master Jack, is there something you need? His smile is warm and genuine. The kind of person you can't help but like. It's why I've always had a good impression of him. But if my memory serves me right, in my previous life, the Imperial View Hotel caught fire just 3 days after Ella's birthday party. The kitchen fire suppression system was inadequate, and when the fire broke out, the extinguishers were completely useless. The fire even claimed lives. The Imperial View had been the finest hotel in the city. After that, it never recovered. Word was that Miles fell gravely ill from the blow. I look at him and ask, is your hotel's fire safety system in good shape? Miles looks at me, caught off guard. That's an unexpected question, young Master Jack. Just a feeling. Might be worth having someone take a proper look, especially the kitchen. Rest assured, Miles says. Our fire safety is top-notch. We take full responsibility for our guests. I hold his gaze. Uncle Miles, why not go check yourself? My persistence draws a flicker of displeasure across his face. He fixes me with a look. What exactly are you implying, young Master Jack? You don't trust my word? Your father and I are old friends. He knows exactly what kind of man I am. I run an honest business. This feels like a personal slight. I'm close in age to his son. In his eyes, I'm just a kid who doesn't know better. Sophia speaks. If he says so, it wouldn't hurt to take a look. Since Miles walked in, she hasn't said a single word to him. She gives brief answers when he speaks to her, and yet even now those few words carry weight. Miles respects her enough to comply. Alright, I'll go right now. Sophia is utterly composed, and her background speaks for itself. She's close to my age, yet somehow her words carry a weight mine simply don't. After Miles leaves, I look at Sophia in surprise. Why did you help me? I ask because I know what's coming. But from Sophia's perspective, she should have no reason to believe any of it. Sophia looks at me. You spoke up. Of course I'd back you. What if I was just making it up? So what? Sophia says. Even if it's nothing, all it costs him is a walk to the kitchen. She says it all so calmly. But watching her, I feel something warm rise inside me, like being truly believed by someone. I think back to the day of my diagnosis. No one wanted to believe I was a victim. They all said it was my own recklessness. If I had been reckless, I'd have accepted it. Everyone pointed fingers. Everyone looked at me with disgust. In time, even I started to hate myself. But it was Ella who had arranged it. Someone had deliberately used a contaminated needle on me at her instruction, all so she could have an excuse to refuse the marriage. Only the one who set the trap knows just how innocent you really are. Sophia and I take our time with the meal. When it's done, we don't leave. We order dessert. I even brought my homework along and work through it at the table. Sophia walks me through the problems as I go. We talk until evening. When Ella's birthday party wraps up and the guests move to leave, they find themselves stopped. Ella hasn't settled the bill. Ella calls me. I let it ring. Sophia watches from beside me. Why aren't you answering? I know who it is. I let it ring again. It takes 2 more calls before I pick up. Jack, what is this? On the other end of the phone, Ella's voice is full of anger. The angrier she gets, the lighter I feel. I've said I'm done with her, but the debt from my last life still needs to be paid, otherwise I'll never be able to let it go. I smile. Ella, what's all this? Why so worked up? Get over here and pay the bill, Ella says through her teeth. Don't make this worse. She had planned to walk out tonight and never deal with me again. She didn't expect me to be waiting for her. Now she can't pay and every single person is stuck there. Everyone is watching her. That's strange, I say. I wasn't at your party, why would I pay your bill? Why not split it with everyone? I'm sure they'd chip in. They all seem fond of you. Great friends too. Always going out to eat together. I used to give Ella well over $100,000 a month in spending money. She took it as if it were hers by right. In her mind, it was just payment for tutoring. All perfectly fair. She was generous with it too, always treating people to meals. Everyone thought she was loaded and flocked to her accordingly, but every coin of it was mine. Ella says, Jack, does it really have to be like this? What do you want from me? Just tell me what it takes for you to come pay. Well, I say, if you're asking someone for a favor, you ought to sound like it, don't you think? I hear her exhale sharply on the other end. I'm not her lapdog anymore. Of course she's furious. I smile. Not willing? Alright then, I'm hanging up. Please. Ella grits the word out, knuckles tight around her phone. The hotel staff has them all held at the door. There's no way out. I hang up and get to my feet. I'll be right back, I tell Sophia. I make my way to the Jade Hall. The classmates from the party are all still inside. None of them have been able to leave. Every pair of eyes is on Ella, waiting for her to pay. The atmosphere is painfully awkward. Ella has nowhere to go. She stands there under everyone's gaze, with no way out. The moment I walk in, the manager approaches. Young Master Jack, she says politely. I look around at the crowd, all dressed up and looking their best. This afternoon they look down at me. Now that same crowd can't even afford to walk out the door. Nothing more humbling than being trapped with an unpaid bill. I smile. What's going on? Isn't this supposed to be a birthday party? Nobody looks very happy. I take a deliberate look at Ella. Her expression is darker than anyone else's. Ryan stands off to the side, clearly unsure what's going on. The manager explains, Miss Ella hasn't settled the bill. I simply ask that everyone remain until it's taken care of. I wave a hand. Is that all? No need to make a whole thing of it. These are my classmates, I'll cover the bill tonight. I hand my card to the manager. She takes it and processes the payment. The looks people give me shift, complicated, uncertain. Ella is the one having the birthday party, and yet Jack is the one paying. What exactly is going on? Can't she pay for her own party? Ella feels her face burn. She stares at me. No wonder he came so willingly. This was his plan all along, to humiliate her, to let everyone see that she's broke, that she depends on him for money. He could have quietly settled it without a word. Instead, he makes a show of it, swiping the card right in front of everyone. This guy has completely lost it. A moment later, the manager returns, handing me back the card along with the receipt. "Done, young Master Jack, here's the bill." I glance at the total, then I read it aloud, deliberately. 860,000. Happy birthday, Ella. Since it's your special day, I'll cover this one, but there won't be a next time. I glance over at Ryan. He's standing right beside me and the color has drained from his face. Wait, all of Ella's money came from Jack? Wasn't she supposed to be from a wealthy family? The scene unfolding before them is a slap in the face for everyone present. Bree steps forward and faces me. "Jack, what kind of joke is this? Just because Ella's money passes through your hands doesn't make it yours. You're just the housekeeper's kid holding it for her. What exactly are you so smug about? Your family lets the help manage your money?" I look at Bree and smile. "Since you brought it up, I'm not the housekeeper's son. Let me set the record straight. I'm not. Her father was my family's driver. He left me stranded at the school gate to drive Ella and Ryan instead. He's been dismissed. If you don't believe me, ask Ella yourself." I turn to look at her. "What do you say, Ella?" She glares at me, eyes full of bitter resignation. She has never, not once in her life, no matter how hard things got, been made to feel this humiliated. And now everyone is watching her fall apart. But she can't say a word, because there's a real chance he takes his money back and leaves her stranded. She ignores me and walks out. Ryan watches it all, then follows her out. The whole scene is unbearable, but he has no choice. What he hadn't expected, though, was that she's the driver's daughter. Then why had she been pretending to come from money all this time? Once they're both gone, I glance around at everyone still in the room. "Nothing more to see here. You're all free to go. Take care on the way home. It's getting late." One by one they file out of the Jade Hall. I watch them go, then step out myself. The manager walks me toward the exit. She sees me to the elevator. Sophia arrives at exactly the same moment. We step into the elevator together. I don't say anything. Neither does she. I set the record straight back there in front of everyone. But I don't feel particularly good about it. Compared to everything I suffered, what I just did to Ella barely scratches the surface of the score I need to settle. Sophia notices my silence. She doesn't disturb it. We reach the lobby, and Miles is there. The moment he spots me, he comes straight over. "Jack." This time it's not Sophia he's looking for, it's me. "Uncle Miles," I say politely. Miles takes my hand in both of his. "Jack, I can't thank you enough. If it weren't for you, this hotel would have been finished. I went and checked myself, just now. There were serious problems everywhere. It was my cousin's negligence. I've already sent him home." I relax. "It was nothing." Miles gives me a curious look. "How did you know there was a problem?" The question catches me off guard. I scramble for an excuse. "I dreamed about it last night." Miles bursts out laughing. "All right, I won't pry. Oh, I've had some gifts prepared for you both." He signals to an assistant who brings them over, 2 small gift bags. "Thank you. If you ever need anything, just say the word." He means every word of it. Miles sees us to the door. Sophia's car is already waiting. I settle into the seat and look out the window. The streets are quiet at this hour. A fair number of cars still on the road though, light traffic. I remember how we usually talk so much, but tonight neither of us says a word. Sophia doesn't push me, but she's thinking about how I somehow knew about the fire hazard at the Imperial View. By any logic, I shouldn't know more about his hotel than he does. She's also heard what happened in the Jade Hall. Today is Ella's birthday, and yet Jack spent it with her, not Ella. That alone is something. But then he deliberately humiliated Ella in front of everyone. He really is done with her. So then why does he look so hollow right now? The truth is, the sadness only lasts a moment. I know I've been given a second chance. Everything can still be changed. As long as I don't repeat the same mistakes, there's still time. Studying hard every day lately, it's genuinely exhausting. I feel like I could sleep forever. Right now I'm barely keeping my eyes open. Before long I drift sideways and fall asleep against Sophia's shoulder. Sophia freezes. By the time they reach my home, Sophia's arm has gone slightly numb. She hasn't dared shift position, afraid of waking me. She's held still the entire way. "Miss, we've arrived." Sophia glances out the window, then her gaze falls on my face, pale, peaceful. She hesitates over whether to wake me. The driver has already stepped out and is waiting by the door. Sophia still doesn't wake me. I feel the car stop and open my eyes, glancing out the window. When it registers that I'm home, I slowly look over at Sophia. She's sitting perfectly still, not quite meeting my eyes. I roll my neck gently, a little stiff, and sit up straight. "We're here." Sophia gives a small nod. "Then why didn't you wake me? You look like you needed it." She says it the same way she says everything, face perfectly neutral. I look at her and notice the tips of her ears are red. She's always struck me as someone reserved, but I didn't expect this level of innocence. "Sophia." She hears her name and meets my eyes. "Are you afraid of me?" "No." "Then why do you avoid looking at me? When we're together, you act like I bother you." Sophia gives a quiet cough. "I'm just not used to being this close to someone. You're the first." I can't help laughing. "Then why didn't you ask me to move?" Something in my words seems to prompt her, as if to prove she's the one in control, and she asks, "Why did you and Ella fall out? I thought you liked her." The question catches me off guard. I stare at the empty street ahead. I just realized I don't. A beat. "What?" "Nothing, I'm heading in." I step out of the car. At that moment the front gate slowly swings open. My father Owen appears in the doorway. The moment I see him, something inside me lights up. "Dad, you're finally home." Dad Dad is always busy with work. Most of the time I'm alone in that house. There are plenty of staff but few who can actually keep me in line. That was one thing. But even my father spoiled me too much, always putting my happiness first. Being spoiled by him, those were my most carefree days. In my previous life my father told me to stop chasing after Ella. I wouldn't listen. Seeing him now, all I feel is warmth. Standing before him, a long buried ache rises to the surface. I throw myself into his arms. The tears come before I can stop them. Maybe it's only in front of the people closest to you that you let yourself break. Dad had been ready to play the stern father when I came home so late. Then I went and did this, and started crying. He panics immediately. He pats my shoulder, gentle and careful. Hey, what's wrong, son? Who hurt you? Was it that Ella girl? I heard you fired both of them. I hold on to him. Nothing, I just missed you. You silly kid. Every time I call too often you tell me I'm annoying. Wait, is that the Sophia's car? His words make me turn around. Sure enough, Sophia's car is still at the gate. Sophia has stepped out. My eyes are still red. Having her see me like this, embarrassing. Sophia gave me a lift, I tell Dad. We went out for dinner. Dad glances at me, visibly surprised. He had brought up the betrothal before. I had been completely against it. I had even said I'd never have anything to do with Sophia. And now here they are, coming home together after dinner. He doesn't know what changed, but he turns to Sophia all the same. Sophia, come in and sit for a while. Hello, Uncle, Sophia says. I won't come in today, I should head home. She glances at me once, then gets back in the car. The car pulls away. I follow my father inside. Did Sophia do something to you? Dad eyes my red-rimmed eyes and crumpled expression. I shake my head. No, she's been good to me. I sink into the sofa. Dad keeps watching me. He's still young now. He wasn't old when he was gone either, in my last life. But somehow I always remember him as older when he left. Dad asks again and again, circling back until he's satisfied that Ella hasn't done anything to me. Sunday morning, barely out of bed, Auntie Chen tells me Ella is here. The memory of last night flashes through my mind. We've truly burned every bridge between us. Ella should know by now. I'm not going to indulge her anymore. And yet here she is. I come downstairs to find it's not just Ella. Her father is here too. Uncle Steve is seated on the sofa speaking to my father. Mr. Owen, it's all Ella's fault. She doesn't know how to behave. I've given her a good talking to. She won't give Jack any more trouble. My father's brow creases. And since when do you address my son by name? Dad has never liked either of them. The only reason he's tolerated them this long is fear of pushing me away. Uncle Steve realizes his mistake and scrambles to apologize. Young Master Jack, of course. The moment he sees me on the stairs, his eyes snap toward me. Good morning, young Master Jack. I've brought Ella here today to offer her apologies. I look over at Ella. She's seated there, expression dark, saying nothing. Apologies? I don't believe that for a second. Her face couldn't make her resentment any clearer. She's still fuming over last night. There is no way she's here to apologize. Uncle Steve, what are you talking about? I say. Ella hasn't done anything to me, no apology needed. But I heard you let her go when he himself was fired. He hadn't been half this anxious. His monthly wage wasn't much, and the hours were long. But Ella was different. She barely had to tutor me, and the money she received was substantial. And who knew, maybe one day the entire Jiang family fortune would have ended up hers. Now that things have fallen apart, of course he can't accept it. Over the years she tutored me. My grades only got worse. Besides, Ella herself said she couldn't do the job, that I was too dull to teach, so I did her the favor of letting her go. There's no conflict between us. She hasn't done anything wrong. Really, an apology isn't necessary. Dad gives me a sideways look. My expression is completely calm. Before I had insisted on having Ella around, insisted she tutor me. Dad had no choice but to go along with it. Now I've let her go entirely. Dad is surprised and quietly moved. His son has finally grown up. I have class to prepare for and I need to eat. Dad has someone see them out. After breakfast I head outside. The driver is already waiting in the courtyard. I get in. The car pulls out of the gate. I see Ella still standing outside, her father beside her. Gone is the soft-spoken man from inside. Uncle Steve raises his hand and strikes her across the face. I know Ella's story. Her father is a compulsive gambler. Her mother couldn't take it and left, abandoning Ella without a second thought. All these years she's lived with her father, borrowing money from relatives just to stay in school. As she got older she started finding her own way. Under those circumstances, to still excel academically, top of the school every single time. I admired her for it. I gave her everything. My care, my attention, the best of what I had, because I wanted her life to be easier. But while I was aching for her, she never gave me a second thought. To her, I was a bank. The person she actually cared for wasn't me. I look away and head straight to school. After everything that happened yesterday, the way people treat me has noticeably softened. Classmates start coming up to talk. Jack, is your family really that wealthy? So all of Ella's money came from you? We always thought she was from a rich family. You all know now, don't you? Young Master Jack, what about me? I promise I'm way more agreeable than Ella. I look at the girl in front of me. A laugh escapes before I can stop it. Just then, Ella walks in. She catches the girl's words and lets out a cold laugh. Dream on. He'd have to actually want you first. He's already got his eye on someone new. Get in line. New target? Everyone turns at Ella's words. Someone new? Who could possibly top Ella? Is there even anyone at this school who comes close? Hard to imagine. She may no longer have the rich girl image, but Ella's academic record is exceptional, and she's undeniably beautiful. Everyone agrees she's going places. Ella doesn't bother answering the crowd. She just turns her gaze to me. You spent all this time as my lapdog. Just because I wouldn't date you, you turned on me like this? Jack, no matter what you do, I will never like you. You're a poor student who thinks family money buys him the world. You're not even worth a fraction of Ryan. Ella's words remind everyone of my academic record. Dead last in the rankings. Not only was I her lapdog, I'm a complete deadweight too. Before I can respond, Ella brings up last night's party. You were the one who pushed me to invite everyone. I didn't even want to go. And then you deliberately humiliated everyone there. Is that what money means to you? Something to toy with people's dignity? And don't twist the facts. Don't go around saying you were supporting me. That money was payment for tutoring, nothing more. I won't take another cent from you, but don't expect any help from me either. With that, Ella switches seats without another glance in my direction. Every part of her posture says she wants nothing to do with me. There she goes again, rebuilding the cool, untouchable scholar image. Classic Ella. I haven't forgotten the way she came to me last night asking for help. When I saw her father hit her this morning, I felt a flicker of pity. Now I think he didn't hit her hard enough. I'm not going to let this slide. Tutoring? I say. Ella, you've got some nerve bringing that up. From the moment you started tutoring me, what exactly did you do besides spend my money? I finished last in class every single month. That's your tutoring at work. Ella's expression doesn't budge. I told you from the start, you're too slow to teach. That's hardly my problem. With all your money, Jack, maybe buy yourself a new brain. The class erupts in laughter. I watch her stand there so certain of herself and say, are you sure it was me who was slow and not your teaching? Ella thinks of Sophia. She knows Sophia has been tutoring me. She gives a short scoff. Fine then, let's settle this. Show me your results at the next monthly exam. You don't even need to do much. Just move up 100 places in the rankings. And I'll admit the fault was mine. She wants to see if Sophia can pull off a miracle. Because in her mind, my brain simply doesn't work. Deal, I say, holding her gaze. She only asked for 100 places. She didn't even aim higher. That says everything about how little she thinks of me. Ella turns to the class. You all heard it, he agreed. If he moves up 100 places at the next exam, I'll run 10 kilometers as my penalty. A ripple of excitement runs through the room. Everyone's eyes are on Ella. Bree looks over at me. If the school beauty is running 10 kilometers, shouldn't you run 10 too if you lose? Though Jack, can you even finish 10 kilometers? If you're scared, just admit it now. I look at them and say, sure, 100 places isn't much of a challenge. The truth is, Sophia's way of explaining things just clicks for me. These past few days I felt myself improving in a real way, so I agree without hesitation. A clear goal is exactly the kind of pressure I need. Ella sees me nod and bites back a laugh. Idiot, she mutters, and sits back down. She genuinely didn't expect me to take the bet. Back when she tutored me, I was clueless on every count. She knows exactly what she thinks my level is. She's already looking forward, watching me run. The bet has barely been made. When Ryan walks through the door, he stops at the doorway. He's heard everything Ella just said. He spent all last night in a low mood, but by now he's worked things out in his head. Ella's grades are outstanding. She's beautiful, and even if her background is modest, she's hardworking and driven. Isn't she 100 times better than a deadweight like Jack? She'll make something of herself on her own merits. Being with her is no loss at all. With that settled in his mind, he walks over to Ella. Ella, your father may be a driver, but he earns his living with his own hands. And you've always topped the class. Coming this far without much support, that couldn't have been easy. I'll stand by you. Always. Ryan's words work like a charm. Every classmate who had doubts about Ella is suddenly moved. Ryan standing by her through all of this, that kind of devotion is something else. And really, people have always admired Ella. Not just for money, but for who she is. Her character and her grades both speak for themselves. But Jack, he doesn't even try. And yet he expects someone to be with him. Shameless. I watch the two of them perform their little duet and feel the urge to weep. For the sheer drama of it all, truly touching. These two deserve each other. Lock it in. I have only myself to blame for ever getting involved. After Ella's little speech, everyone's decided I'm a complete deadweight. I'd barely shaken off the lapdog label and the housekeeper's son rumor. Now they're keeping their distance again because of my grades. But honestly, I don't care much. Compared to the loneliness and helplessness of my last life, this is nothing. At least I have my family's wealth and parents who love me. I focus on studying and don't bother with the rest of them. After school, Dad drives up with Mom to pick me up. They're both in their 40s now, but they were the most striking pair at their school back in the day, and even now they carry themselves with quiet elegance. Mom steps out of the car, and the moment she spots me, she pulls me into a warm embrace. Then she thoughtfully holds the door open for me. Ella and Ryan have just walked out of school when they see the whole thing. The classmates with them spot me getting into a car with an older woman. Curiosity stirs. Could that be Jack's new person? Ella had mentioned it just this morning. She has to be in her 40s. What's her connection to Jack? The speculation starts immediately. So that's how he has money. He's being kept by an older woman. And here we thought he was something special. No wonder Ella won't touch him. I wouldn't either. At his age, disgusting. Ella hears them talking and doesn't bother correcting anyone. Ryan glances at Ella. Her silence feels like confirmation. A small wave of relief washes over him. Jack's grades are poor, but the money bothered Ryan. Tens of thousands spent in a single night without a second thought. It never sat right with him. He always felt somehow beneath Jack, and he hated it. Now that it turns out Jack is just being funded by an older woman, suddenly everything feels a lot more even. At least Ryan would never stoop to something like that. He'll get where he's going through his own hard work. Someday he'll have everything Jack has, and he'll have earned it. Ryan and Ella board the bus. "I can't walk you home today," Ella says. Now that tutoring Jack is off the table, she's found a part-time job. Her father's gambling debts are staggering, and he's always helped himself to her earnings. Now she has no choice but to earn enough to support herself. "Okay," Ryan says simply. "Mom and Dad take me to get a new phone, then bring me along for dinner." By the time we arrive at the restaurant, Sophia is already there. Sophia lives here in the city with her uncle, who happens to be a close friend of my father's. Tonight is something of an official introduction between the two families. Dad has been trying to make this happen for a long time, but I had always refused, too fixated on Ella to give it any thought. So the dinner kept getting pushed back. Today I showed up willingly. Dad is quietly overjoyed. His son has finally grown up and started listening. Over dinner, he and Sophia's uncle fall into easy, cheerful conversation. I sit beside Sophia. I tell her about the bet, that I need to move up 100 places in the rankings. When I finish, Sophia gives only a quiet acknowledgement. I can't tell what she's thinking. "Do you think I was reckless? That the pressure will be too much?" Sophia looks at me. "No. Do you think I can do it? I've been following everything you've taught me lately, but still." "It's fine," Sophia says, meeting my eyes. "Leave it to me. And for the record, you're quite sharp, not nearly as slow as people say." The people she means is obviously Ella. Ella's comments about me being slow. Sophia never responded to them at the time, but she remembered. I smile when I hear it. That's a relief. "Thank you for putting in all this effort with me. It's nothing." Mid-conversation, I notice the room has gone quiet. I look up to find both my father and Sophia's uncle watching us. My face goes warm. "Dad, why are you staring?" "No reason. Carry on." Dad goes back to talking with Sophia's uncle, but inside he can't stop marveling. They really do get along well. He was the one who arranged the betrothal, and yet somehow it feels like his own son is being stolen right out from under him. After dinner, Dad and Sophia's uncle have more to discuss. Sophia and I step out first. We don't head home. We find a cafe nearby. I want ice cream, so I go order some. I bring it back and drop into the seat beside Sophia. We pick up the studying where we left off. My head is full of formulas and concepts. 10 kilometers, that would half kill me if I lost this bet. Here you go. The server brings our order quickly. I look up, and the server standing in front of me is Ella. I stare at her, taken aback. "What are you doing here?" Ella gives me an icy look. "I should be asking you that. Did you find out I work here and come just to bother me?" Despite how cold I've been acting, Ella is convinced I still have feelings for her, that this is all just pressure tactics to make her give in. Otherwise, she picks up a part-time job and I show up at the exact same place? How could there be such a coincidence? You're reading too much into it. It's just a coincidence. Ella glances briefly at Sophia, doesn't linger, and turns away. She has no interest in wasting another second on either of them. Watching her walk off with that air of superiority, I genuinely cannot figure out what she has to feel smug about. I turn and offer Sophia the ice cream. She shakes her head. "You have it." She reaches over, picks up my bag for me, and walks out of the cafe by my side. I had planned to stay a while longer, but running into Ella here has taken the shine off the evening. Over the next 2 weeks, I study relentlessly. Sophia comes to the Jiang house regularly to coach me. My progress is real and measurable, but every time Ella catches me at it, she can't help taking a dig. "Jack, if you're having second thoughts, there's still time to back out. Just don't come crying when the results are posted. You're distracting me." I frown and shove my earphones in. The monthly exam finally ends. I'm in a surprisingly good mood. I rush home, barely able to contain myself. The results aren't out yet, but I know I did well. Sophia is in the courtyard drinking tea and keeping Snowball company. Snowball has been getting rounder by the day. I come over and scoop Snowball up. "You're here early today." Sophia looks up. "I'm always early. I've been wondering, don't you have anything going on at school?" Ella is top of her school too, and she and Ryan always seem to have something on, but Sophia always seems perfectly unhurried, and she's already here every time I get back. I have a lot of freedom. They don't really keep tabs on me. "So no school activities?" "I don't usually go." "Not even student council?" Sophia shakes her head. "I'll join the occasional competition, but not often." "Why not?" "It's not interesting, and the teachers worry it's not a fair fight. It can discourage the other students." "But I've heard you do compete." "Sometimes." "The same competitions Ella enters. She mentioned you're always there and that you've beaten her to first place more than once. She really can't stand you for it." Sophia picks up her cup and takes a quiet sip. When Ella is competing, she generally makes sure to show up. I'm burning to know how I did, so I go over the answers with Sophia right there in the courtyard. Most of them are correct. My mood lifts even further. When results day comes, the homeroom teacher walks in and runs through the usual praise for Ella and Ryan. First and second place again, as expected. Then the teacher pauses. "There's one more student I want to recognize. Jack." I sit up straight immediately. Ella glances over at me, eyes full of sarcasm. The teacher continues. "Jack's results this time are impressive. He's been at the bottom of the rankings for a long time, but this exam marks a significant leap. He's now in the top 200 of the entire grade. If he keeps this up, he'll do very well in the college entrance exam." Top 200. The whole class stares. Even Ella freezes. She expected me to scrape together 100 places. Getting into the top 200 was never part of the calculation. Honestly, I didn't dare hope for this either. Maybe it's because I suffered so much in my last life that I no longer have any interest in wasting this one. I've been paying attention in ways I never did before. Every day, I listen carefully in class, then go over everything with Sophia afterward. She has a gift for teaching. Problems that once seemed impossible become almost straightforward when she explains them. Effort, it turns out, does pay off. Are you sure, teacher? Jack's scores were terrible before. How could he possibly? I am not mistaken, the teacher says, turning to me with a calm expression. Having a student drag the class average down had been a quiet headache for him. He had no idea I was capable of this. Getting that recognition from the teacher genuinely makes me happy. I catch Ella watching me. So, how did I do? You said I was too slow to learn. 10 kilometers, Ella, don't forget. Ella presses her lips together. She genuinely can't wrap her head around it. Could Sophia really be that good a teacher? After school, Ella has no choice but to run her 10 kilometers. I don't go home. I stay behind specifically to watch. I sit quietly off to the side, watching her from the corner of my eye. Watching her eat humble pie sends a rush of satisfaction through me I can't quite name. It feels good, really good. Ryan stands nearby, watching me with barely concealed anger at how cold I've become. Bree shoots me a look, then leans toward Ryan. Top 200, who cares? It's not like he came first. Acting like he owns the place. Ella got first and she's not half this pleased with herself. Ryan came second for that matter. Ryan's eyes rest on Ella, running laps on the track. A bet's a bet, he says evenly. Ella can handle a loss. So what if his grades improved? Bree says. He still goes home to that woman. The whole thing makes me sick. Stop spreading rumors about people, Ryan says. Ryan, you're just too decent. Bree gives his shoulder a light pat. By the time Ella finishes her 10 kilometers, the sky is nearly dark. She walks back drenched in sweat and looks at me. Happy now? I nod. Good effort. Feel free to bet against me again anytime. I get to my feet and walk out of the school grounds feeling lighter than I have in a long time. The moment Ella watched my figure leave, I felt extremely happy. And I even took small, skipping steps from time to time. The image she has of me is still a lovesick lapdog. But right now I can't even be bothered to glance back. She thinks about Jack and Sophia. Is he actually going to end up with her? They're equally matched in background. If he really does end up with Sophia, the moment that thought surfaces, Ella feels something she doesn't expect, a gnawing irritation, like something that was hers has been taken. Ella. Ryan notices her staring after me and speaks up. You must be exhausted. Here, drink some water. He holds out a bottle of water. Ella takes it. Thank you. She's always perfectly polite with Ryan. You worked hard, Ryan says. Though it is strange, Jack's scores have always been terrible. For him to jump this much all of a sudden, you don't think he cheated. Bree jumps in. That's exactly what I think. He cheated just to make Ella lose. Otherwise, how do you explain it? She tutored him every day and his grades were still awful. Then suddenly this. Easy, Ryan says, giving Bree a look. You can't say things like that without proof. If he comes after you for it, don't expect sympathy. I'm going to tell the teacher tomorrow, Bree says. I take the car home, eager to share the news with Sophia. Making Ella admit defeat, Sophia deserves her share of the credit. But Auntie Chen tells me Sophia didn't come today. A small wave of disappointment. I change out of my school clothes and head to the dining room. Dad's been away lately. It's just me in the house. I call Sophia. Sophia is in the pool at home. The housekeeper approaches quietly. Miss, there's a call for you. The figure in the water doesn't seem to hear. The housekeeper adds, it's Jack. Sophia surfaces immediately. She steps lightly onto the poolside. The housekeeper is already there with a towel, wrapping it around her. Sophia answers. The cool composure on her face softens just slightly. Hello? Are you busy? Did I catch you at a bad time? I was just swimming. I heard you didn't come by today, so I thought I'd call. I smile as I say it. My results jumped. I made the top 200. You know what? Ella ran 10 kilometers today. The moment I saw her get put in her place, it felt so satisfying. Sophia moves over to the poolside chair and sits, listening patiently as I rattle on. After a while I ask, are you still there? Still here, congratulations. I hope I'm not bothering you. Not at all. I have time. You've been coming every day to tutor me. You must be tired. Take a couple of days off. I'll study on my own and message you if I get stuck. Alright? I don't hang up right away. You sound a little off. Did something happen? Do you need me to help with anything? The question catches her off guard. We're partners in this, aren't we? You've done so much for me, I want to do the same. Without her coaching, there's no way I'd have pulled off results like this. I can't just keep taking what she gives without offering something back. Especially when she doesn't need anything material from me. Sophia listens, and at the word partners, the corner of her mouth lifts despite herself. Okay, Jack. The next day I arrive at school, to find the homeroom teacher walking in with a heavy expression. She stands at the front of the room, visibly furious, the tension radiating off her in waves. Her eyes lock onto me. Jack, on your feet. I stand up, staring at the homeroom teacher in confusion. She says, someone has reported you for cheating on this month's exam. Do you have anything to say for yourself? The moment I hear the word cheating, I scan the room. Every eye in the class is on me. Bree sits right next to Ryan, wearing a smug, satisfied grin. The teacher continues, your score last month was terrible, yet this time you improved so drastically it's hard to make sense of. To be safe, we've decided to give you a different set of questions and have you retake the exam. Any objections? Retake the exam? I'm not happy about this at all. Bree can barely contain herself. She jumps up. See, I told you he cheated. If the score was really yours, what's there to be afraid of? Just retake it. She stares at me with that triumphant look, as if she's finally caught me red-handed. I find it almost laughable. You reported me without a shred of evidence. The burden of proof lies with the accuser. That means you need to provide evidence. Otherwise, this is slander. If everyone followed your lead and reported me every day, I'd be retaking exams non-stop. I might as well stop coming to school altogether. The moment I speak up, Ella looks over at me, visibly surprised. I used to be a pushover. Whenever someone came at me, I could barely fight back. But this time, the words come out sharp and clear. Is this really the same person she's known all this time? She knows me inside and out. Yet right now, I feel like a completely different person. Seeing me push back with solid reasoning, the teacher says, "It's understandable that people have doubts. Having you retake the exam is also a chance for you to prove your innocence. You don't want people whispering behind your back forever, do you?" The teacher isn't backing down. She clearly doesn't believe I earned that score on my own. I smile. Of course I'll retake it, teacher. I just think it's completely absurd to be accused like this without any reason. We're classmates after all. I have no idea what Bree's motive is for coming after me like this. And if I score even higher next time, won't she just find something else to say? So since she chose to report me without a single piece of evidence, she should face some consequences. If I'm proven innocent, how about she gets expelled? Expelled. The word makes the teacher hesitate. Is that going too far, she wonders. Bree's grades are better than mine, so naturally the teacher leans in her favor. But this kind of rumor spreading around, it does serious damage to me. What if the pressure becomes too much and I do something drastic? Wouldn't that be far worse? The moment I bring up the word drastic, the room tenses up instantly. I turn to Bree. What's the matter? You were so sure I cheated, scared to bet on it. Of course not, she snaps. My challenge hits a nerve, and she takes the bait immediately. She turns to the teacher, fuming. I'm willing to put my future on the line. Everyone knows what Jack grades are like. I can say with absolute certainty, he cheated. My reluctance to retake the exam without a fight only convinces Bree even more that I have something to hide. She says to the teacher, but if Jack is proven to have cheated, then he should be expelled too. I refuse to share a school with someone like him. Deal. I agree before the teacher can say a word. The teacher then announces, Jack, come find me in the office after class. With that, she walks out. Bree watches me with pure anticipation, waiting for the show. Ella stares at me, stunned that I put expulsion on the table. She lowers her voice. Jack, are you sure about this? If they decide you cheated, you're out of here. That's so much more embarrassing. If I were you, I'd go apologize to the teacher. A monthly exam isn't worth this. If you're sincere enough, I can even put in a good word for you. Besides, you wanted to beat me. You watched me run 10 kilometers already. I can let that go. She puts on this caring act, but I just look at her. She's been giving me the cold shoulder lately, acting distant and untouchable. And now she shows up here playing the concerned friend. I smile. You think I cheated too, don't you? That's why you're standing here putting on this little performance. Instead of lecturing me, why don't you go talk to Bree? She's your boyfriend's best friend after all. Bree may be the one making noise, but Ryan is far from innocent. He just hides behind that gentle, harmless act of his. I'm not about to pretend none of this has anything to do with him. I knew exactly what kind of person Ryan was in my past life. I saw it all. Every time things got rough between Ella and me, he'd be right there taking shots from the sidelines, two-faced to the core. Ella meant well, but seeing me throw it back in her face, her expression turns cold. I'm doing this for your own good, can't you see that? For my own good? I look her over with curiosity. What's wrong? Waiting tables not working out? Coming back to live off me again? At the mention of living off me, Ella's face darkens. She says nothing, jaw tight. Things haven't been going well at her part-time job lately. Her schoolwork already keeps her stretched thin, and student council piles on even more. She doesn't get home until late every night, and the pay barely covers anything. I spoiled her into a lifestyle she can't sustain on her own. Now she's finding out just how brutal it is to go from luxury to nothing. And especially because of me, she figured I was just throwing a rich boy tantrum, making her life difficult for a few days. But now something feels off. I've stopped chasing after her completely. No matter how badly she treated me before, I always came crawling back. She just stays silent, no comeback. I smile. Are you still waiting for me to throw a fit for a few days and then come crawling back to make it up to you? I actually get it. I was used to spending freely too. After I was thrown out with nothing to my name, those days left a mark I can't forget. If you've always lived tight, maybe it's bearable. But when you've known nothing but comfort and then it's all stripped away, the pain is something else entirely. Back then I'd lie in bed every night, just dreaming that Ella would suddenly come to her senses, realize I was innocent and come find me, that she'd take me back. But I waited and never saw it. Not until the day I died. I believed in her, and all I got in return was news of her marrying someone else, and then, the truth that she had set me up all along. Ella's days aren't easy now either. I supported her for a long time after all. I don't need your pity, Ella says, pressing her lips together. If you still think I'm coming back to comfort you, you're dreaming. If you want me back, then beg. Maybe if I feel sorry enough for you, I'll be a little kinder, toss you some cash. I say it with a smile. Inside, I feel nothing but ice. It's not like I'd actually forgive her just because she begged, but I do want to see it. Ella on her knees, desperate. She's always been too proud. I can't stand that look on her face. She destroyed me in my past life. This time around, I'm not letting her off easy, so I'll give her just enough hope to keep her going. Not a chance, Ella says, cold. She turns away and doesn't look at me again. I'm in no rush. After class, I head to the teacher's office. Besides the homeroom teacher, the dean of students is there too, along with 2 other teachers from our year. They've prepared a new set of questions. When I finish, the teachers grade it together. The verdict is in. My score is genuinely strong, proof that I didn't cheat on the monthly exam. The teacher looks surprised. You clearly didn't cheat, but why were your grades so terrible before? I think back to how lost I was over Ella. I was immature. I didn't take my studies seriously. Recently, we got a new tutor at home and the results have been pretty clear. Maybe only those who've truly left school behind can understand how precious this time really is. School is one of the few places where effort actually gets rewarded. Step outside those gates, and the world shows you just how brutal it can be. I return to the classroom. The homeroom teacher and the dean come in together to announce the result. Once it's confirmed I didn't cheat, Bry's face falls into pure panic. How is that possible? How did he not cheat? The teacher's expression is stone cold. The attitude in this class has become a real problem. Classmates should be lifting each other up. Jumping to conclusions about someone who's improved is the worst kind of blow you can deal them. I hope everyone takes this as a lesson. I look at Bry. You said you'd leave if I was proven innocent. You're not going back on that, are you? Bree stammers. So you are backing out. Turns out some people really can't be taken at their word. In that case, don't make bets you can't keep. Jack, Ryan steps in, playing the peacemaker now that his friend is on the ropes. We're all classmates. There's no need to take it this far. Bree was looking out for you. She was worried you might go down the wrong path. She didn't mean any harm. Just give her another chance. The moment Ryan speaks, other students chime in. Yeah, expulsion is way too harsh. I smile, looking at all these faces so quick to have opinions that cost them nothing. They're genuinely deferring to Ryan. Whatever he says, goes. I turn to Ryan. You're so concerned about her, why don't you withdraw in her place? Ryan's lips tighten, eyes fixed on me, and within moments his eyes begin to well up, as if I'm the one bullying him. The rest of the class immediately turns on me. Bry's the one who went after you, not Ryan. Why are you dragging Ryan into this? Ryan actually speaks up for you, you know? He treats every student the same. Everyone's against me now. I smile. Treats everyone the same? I wouldn't go that far. If it were me getting expelled today, would you have said a single word in my defense? Of course I would, Ryan says. I've always told people to be kinder to you. I can't stand his act. I turn to Bry. Fine, you don't have to leave, but we all know what your word is worth. So how about this? Run 20 kilometers instead. Bree stares at me, horrified. 20 kilometers? Is he trying to kill her? She has almost no athletic ability to speak of. If you can't do it, then pack your bags. I scoff and sit back down. Honestly, whether Bry stays or goes doesn't matter much to me. But if she faces no consequences, everyone will think I'm fair game. She has to pay something. Fine, I'll run, Bry snaps. Not just run, I say. While you're at it, you're going to shout your apology out loud. That you wrongly accused me, that I never cheated. Let the whole school know what you did. Isn't that going a bit too far? You're making her humiliate herself in front of the whole school. Compared to what she did to me, I'd say I'm being quite merciful. After class, Bree goes to run her 20 kilometers, the price of keeping her spot in school. She has no choice. I'm not going anywhere either. I sit on the steps right there, watching every lap. I have no intention of letting her off the hook. Her stamina is nowhere near Ella's. She runs slowly, and having to shout her apology every lap makes it even harder. Before long, she's on the verge of collapsing. Ryan walks over to me. Jack, Bree knows she was wrong. Let it go this time. She's not like Ella. She doesn't have the stamina. 20 kilometers could kill her. So what you're saying is, if your rumors had driven me to something worse, that would have been my problem? But you're fine, Ryan says. You're not the type to do something like that. I look at Ryan. The afternoon light hits him from behind, leaving his face half in shadow, impossible to read. That faint air of superiority. I remember, right before I died, Ryan called me specifically to rub it in. Whether he had a hand in what Ella did, I'm still not sure. But he knew. He knew everything. Together they pushed me to my death, and now he has the nerve to stand here and call me out of line. You've got some nerve. How long are you planning to keep up that harmless nice guy routine? You really think I'm going to fall in line like everyone else? Hanging on your every word? If you've got a problem with it, go run in her place. Otherwise, stop talking. Seeing Ryan take the hit, Ella steps in. Jack, that's enough. Ryan was just trying to warn you. If something goes wrong, that's on you. I look up at her. What's this? Saving your hero. Ryan glances at Ella, sees how upset she looks, and sets aside whatever's been bothering him about her home situation. He turns to me. Jack, you hate me and you go after my friends. Is this about Ella? If you think I took her from you, fine, take her back. Ryan, Ella says sharply, don't say that. I have absolutely no feelings for him. Ella rushes to reassure Ryan, the two of them so devoted, so perfectly matched, and I'm left looking like the bitter scheming third wheel. I laugh. Keep her, Ella. I don't do recycling. Before Ella can respond, I continue. As for me bullying Bry, the whole school knows she came after me first. What I'm doing now is practically generous. If she doesn't want to run, she can leave. I'm not stopping her. I used to care about being the good guy, keeping a clean image, never stepping on anyone. And where did that get me? I became the one getting stepped on. This time around, I'm living for myself. I couldn't care less what anyone thinks. Ella takes one look at me and gives up. She turns to Ryan. He's beyond help. If something happens to Bree, he'll regret it. Let's go. She grabs Ryan's arm and walks away. Bree's body gives out after just 10 kilometers. She collapses. Ella and Ryan call it in and rush her to the hospital. I follow. Ella looks at me with barely concealed satisfaction. Happy now? Absolutely. Why wouldn't I be? I pull out my phone and call the hospital director. I have the best doctors assigned to her case, and cover every cent of the medical bills myself. Ella and Ryan had been looking to use Bree's collapse against me. Now they have nothing to say. Ryan stays in the room, watching Bree as she stirs awake. You okay? Bree opens her eyes. Ryan. He gently pats her shoulder. How are you feeling? Everything hurts, Bree says, laying it on thick. I'm leaning against the wall, casually sipping a carton of yogurt. The specialist just checked you out. You're perfectly fine. Your stamina is just terrible. The doctors recommend more exercise. Tomorrow at school, don't forget to finish the remaining 10 kilometers. Bree's eyes go wide. She just collapsed and he's still thinking about those 10 kilometers. Is he actually evil? Are you trying to kill me? Relax, you won't die, I say. If you pass out again, the whole hospital's team of specialists will be right there for you. Bree's face flushes red with fury. I raise an eyebrow, my voice perfectly calm. What's the matter? Thinking about backing out? You could always just withdraw instead. Stop pushing it. I hear your parents both work at Shengda Group, I say. Bree's eyes go wide.
He knows, her family.
You investigated me. So what? Bree clenches her fists. I'll finish the run tomorrow. Good. The medical bills are already taken care of, and just so you know, as long as those 10 kilometers aren't done, even if you drop dead, I'll have the doctors bring you back. I walk out of the room. Ella watches me leave, that cold expression on my face making her frown. Bree turns out to be fine. After an IV drip and some rest, Ryan and Ella take her home. I'm not idle either. Back home, I photograph the payment receipt and the medical report and post them both to the class group chat. I've seen enough setups in my time. I'm not giving anyone ammunition to use against me. Only after all of that I finally lie down. The next day, Bree dutifully runs her remaining 10 kilometers. After everything, she doesn't dare act up in front of me the way she used to. Whatever resentment she holds, she keeps it to herself. No more pointing fingers at me to my face. The other students start looking at me differently too, with a new edge of caution. Everyone saw what happened to the last person who crossed me, and on top of that, he's loaded. Cross him, and he'll even foot your hospital bill. They've stopped calling me a simp, stopped bringing up my grades, but behind my back, they're still whispering about me being kept by an older woman. Someone even posted it to the school forum, photo included, and no one knows who. By the time I see it, the replies are piling up. They won't come at me directly anymore. The internet is their only cover. Hidden behind a screen, no one knows who's who. Monday afternoon. I've just walked out of school when I spot two pretty girls standing at the gate. Their uniforms, Yangchuan High. Sophia wears the same uniform, so I recognize it immediately. Some guy nearby can't help himself. They're gorgeous. That's Lily. She's on Yangchuan's tennis team. I used to only have eyes for Ella. Everyone else barely registered. I'd heard Lily's name before, but I had no mental image of her. Looking at her now, I can see she's got a great figure. But as for beautiful, she's nowhere close to Sophia. I honestly don't know what was wrong with me in my past life, turning down Sophia like that. Looking at Sophia now, I realize just how stunning she really is. Put her next to anyone and she still comes out on top. My driver is already waiting at the gate. I'm heading over when Lily steps right into my path. You're Jack, right? She looks me over with undisguised curiosity. I say flatly, who are you? I don't think we've met. Lily's lips curl into a smile. You're that high school boy being kept by an older woman, right? You've been all over the school forum lately. Words made it all the way to our school. Of course, people are also saying I'm not someone to mess with. The story of me dealing with Bree has apparently been retold in vivid detail. Someone bringing it up to my face like this. I find that kind of interesting, actually. I'm not annoyed. I ask calmly, Lily, is it? Lily stares at me, caught off guard. You know who I am? She recovers quickly. I heard you used to support Ella. Is that true? You're not interested in me, are you? I'm not the type to live off someone. She clutches her chest dramatically, as if me knowing her name was some kind of assault. I look at her, genuinely amused. Is your family too poor to own a mirror? If you really can't afford one, I'll give you the money. Go take a good look. You think I'd be interested in you? I hitch my bag up and walk away. Lily stands there, ego bruised. Excuse me? Who talks like that? I don't even look back. I get in the car. Lily stands there and slowly a smile creeps onto her face. Jack, right? You've got some nerve calling me ugly. I won't forget this. When I get home, Sophia is there. She's been gone for days. Finally showing up. Snowball hasn't seen her in days and goes absolutely wild with excitement. Done with everything? I ask. Sophia stands up and I glance at her. Honestly, she's just too good looking. I thought maybe you found tutoring me too annoying and decided to quit. I did try other tutors recently, but honestly none of them explain things as well as you do. Not at all, Sophia says. Things just got a little hectic, so you don't need to explain yourself to me. I'm just glad you're here. If you have things to take care of, go ahead and take care of them. In my past life, after everything I put her through, she still thought of me at the end. Even arranged to have my body taken care of. After what I did to her, a few days of being busy is nothing. Sophia gives a small nod. Let's get to studying, I say, and I actually mean it. We walk into the study together, a few days apart, and I've stacked up a whole list of questions for her. While I work through my assignments, Sophia sits beside me watching. She's seen what's been circulating online, of course. She'd been a little worried, wondering if I was taking it hard. But seeing me now, she can tell I'm holding up fine. The words of concern she'd prepared stay unspoken. Sophia's phone buzzes. She flips it over and glances at it. A message from Lily. Sophia, you're definitely coming to the tennis match on Thursday, right? Sophia already promised, but Lily always worries she'll change her mind. Sophia tends to do things on a whim. Sophia types back a single word. Yeah. After the session, Sophia says, I'll be at your school this week. I look up surprised. There's a tennis match. It's being held at Manhwa's courts. Then I'll be there to cheer you on, I say. Sophia gives a small nod. She thinks back to every time she'd seen me before. I was always trailing after Ella, eyes for no one else. Maybe she never once crossed my mind. But now, hearing me say I'll come cheer for her, the faintest trace of a smile touches the corner of Sophia's mouth. The match is Thursday afternoon. Before it even starts, the school is already buzzing. Yangchuan's girls' tennis team is seriously strong, people whisper. Lily came to our school. She's so pretty. Please. She's nowhere near our campus queen. Ella is the whole package, looks and grades. Ella's grades are top tier. Her tennis game is strong and she's easy on the eyes. Naturally, she has no shortage of admirers. Ryan has been in a foul mood lately. What I said about Ella's father being a gambling addict keeps getting under his skin. He's seen that type before. I have my nose in my book tuning them all out. Back in the day, if Ella had a match, I would have been the first one rallying people to cheer for her. Looking back now, it seems ridiculous, and with everyone talking about me and an older woman, the others are busy rallying for Ella. No one even bothers to include me. But someone brings up, I heard Sophia is at Yongchuan too. Do you think she'll come? Sophia is the only person who consistently outranks Ella on exams. Her name has made a lasting impression on everyone. Probably not. She rarely shows up to these things. Getting to see her in person is a rare thing. Hearing them talk about Sophia, Ella's expression clouds over. She shifts uncomfortably. Her gaze drifts slowly toward me. She sees me absorbed in my book, and something about it unsettles her. Is he really not going to come cheer for me? She turns to me. Is all this studying actually getting you anywhere? I look up, a little surprised she's even talking to me. Of course it is. Not everyone's naturally talented like you. Some of us have to put in the time. What? Does it bother you to see me improve? Why would it bother me? Ella says. Well, I say mildly. I'm already rich and decent looking. If my grades end up better than yours and Ryan's too, what's left for you two? Ella lets out a quiet laugh. Jack, sure, you've improved. But you barely scraped into the top 200. The higher you go, the harder it gets. You might fall right back next time. You think I'm worried about you overtaking me? Him making the top 200 was already a miracle as far as she's concerned. Surpassing her? Not a chance. Sophia outranking her? Fine, that's just raw talent. Ella has never been able to wrap her head around how Sophia's mind works. But Jack? No matter how hard he tries, he can't overcome years of accumulated advantage. Who knows, I say. No one can predict the future. I don't have time for this, Ella says, standing up. I need to go prep for the match. She walks out. Ryan sits nearby and catches every word between Ella and me. His fingers tighten without him realizing. I'm supposed to be a kept man, and he's still trying to get close to Ella? Doesn't that disgust him? But he puts on a gracious front and walks over. Jack, we're going to cheer for Ella. Want to join? Ever since I cut contact with Ella, the gifts she used to give Ryan have stopped too. So Ryan figures it's better to keep me in their orbit. He can't afford to have me completely cut off. If I'm still chasing Ella, I'll keep spending on her, and the two of them won't have to scrape by. These days, Ella is grinding through part-time jobs, barely making enough to cover herself. She can't even drive him home every day like she used to. Compared to when I was supporting her, the difference is staggering. Besides, Ella would never fall for a guy rumored to be sleeping with an older woman. Even if I'm still into Ella, Ryan has nothing to worry about. The moment Ryan makes his pitch, I shut it down. Not interested. Ryan looks at me. Why not? Ella actually speaks well of you, you know. Whatever's happened, we were all friends once. No need to make things this tense. I glance up at him. I think back to my past life, how I handed over the family business to Ella, all in the hope that she'd agree to marry me. Back then, Ryan was doing the exact same thing, singing Ella's praises every single day. So generous. Never once seemed worried I'd steal her from him. I used to think Ryan was genuinely decent. Later I understood, it wasn't that he didn't care, he knew exactly where Ella's heart was. She would never love me, but staying close to me meant Ella could keep getting what she wanted. And so could he. Hearing Ryan advocate for Ella now, I don't buy a single word. I have standards when it comes to who I call a friend. Ryan goes quiet. The others, seeing me brush him off, jump to his defense. Forget it, Ryan, why bother? If he doesn't want to come, let him. They head off to cheer for Ella. I wrap up what I'm doing and make my way to the gym. Ella has already changed into her athletic gear. Standing in front of Ryan, her face is all sweet softness. But out of her school uniform, her figure is something else. She's always loved sports. Seeing her like that, Ryan's cheeks flush. The moment I walk in, Ella's eyes find me. Didn't you say you weren't coming? Ryan follows her gaze and spots me. Jack. I look at the two of them, all lovey-dovey, and don't say a word. I head straight for the stands, looking for a good spot. After a bit of searching, I find a front row seat. Deliberately a little distance from Ryan and the others, I've barely sat down when instead of Sophia, I spot Lily, the girl from a couple days ago. Lily walks right up to me. Jack, about what you said to me the other day, don't you think you owe me an apology? I let out a short, cold laugh. You sure you weren't the one who started it? If she hadn't brought up the whole kept man thing, I wouldn't have said any of that. Lily looks at me, genuinely puzzled. How did I provoke you? Is it polite to say someone's being kept by an older woman? If not you, then who exactly should I have said it to? Lily shrugs. Everyone's saying it. So if everyone said you were into girls, does that make it true? Lily snaps to attention. Who said that? She actually believes it. I can't help laughing. Lily gives me a curious look, refusing to let it go. You asked about my name last time. Were you thinking about keeping me? I'm genuinely speechless. Clearly you still haven't looked in that mirror. Lily tries again. Between me and Ella, who do you think is prettier? Ella may be Manhwa's campus queen, but Lily is confident she holds her own. I smile. What? Are you into her? Lily quickly cuts me off before I can go further. I meant, do I have a shot with you? You were so into her before. Why not give me a try instead? She tosses her hair with deliberate flair and winks at me. A guy nearby gasps. She's gorgeous. I've never witnessed a more shameless pickup attempt in my life. I turn away. At that moment, a shriek erupts across the gym. I look toward the entrance. Sophia has walked in. Everyone who had been focused on Lily instantly shifts their gaze. Every single eye in the room finds Sophia. No one expected her to actually show up. The moment Lily spots Sophia, she drops our conversation entirely and rushes over. Sophia! I see Sophia and can't help but smile. I wave. Sophia sees me. Her expression stays calm as always. Lily stands beside Sophia, follows her gaze and sees me waving with genuine enthusiasm. She smirks. So he's not into me because he's into Sophia. Too bad. Sophia has never been interested in any guy. She never even gives them a second glance. He's going to be disappointed. Sophia and Lily head off to warm up, but all eyes stay on Sophia. Ella doesn't miss the look on my face. The second Sophia walks in, I'm practically a simp. Ella lets out a quiet, contemptuous laugh. Ryan watches me. Is Jack actually falling for Sophia? In truth, the moment Sophia walked in, Ryan felt it too, that pull, but he knows with absolute clarity that someone like Sophia is simply out of reach for him. Not only is she exceptional in every way, but her family background is solid, and word is she's not even interested in guys. Unlike with Ella, he's not about to pine after someone who's completely out of the question, but apparently I have no such self-awareness. A guy rumored to be kept by an older woman, reaching for the moon. Sophia's grades, background, and money all surpass mine. If I were still chasing Ella, Ryan could at least understand that, but going after Sophia? That he genuinely cannot comprehend. Ella doesn't respond. I'm going to warm up. She thought I came to see her. Turns out I'm here for Sophia. Ella is seething inside. She used to think that if I ever stopped watching her, she'd feel nothing but relief. I used to cling to her like she couldn't scrape me off. Now that I've let go, she finds herself unsettled in a way she didn't expect. She has always seen Sophia as her greatest rival. During the time she spent living at my family home, she noticed my father had been planning to arrange a marriage for me, and the intended match was Sophia. Back then she told herself, so what if Sophia outshines her in everything? The man Sophia was meant to marry was her devoted simp. He didn't even see Sophia. Every time she thought about that, it delighted her. After enduring so much, it felt like the one victory she could savor. But now I've walked away, and my attention has landed squarely on Sophia. Ella can't hide her discomfort. Bree is standing beside Ryan. She watches as I sit in the stands. I bought some water and shared it with the other guys around me. Some of them have talked about me behind my back, but we're not in the same class, so that's just how it goes. Now that they've actually spent time around me, they're starting to see I'm not bad. They take the water. Their expressions soften. Bree leans toward Ryan. Is he trying to win people over? Ryan shrugs. Sophia's here, he probably wants to show off. Bree looks at Ryan stunned. You mean he's actually trying to go after Sophia? Is he out of his mind? Sophia, his girlfriend, please. Who's going to want someone like him after all that? I've never seen anyone flaunt something like that so openly. I just saw Lily talking to him. Is he just into any girl who's halfway decent looking? Ryan sighs. He's got the means. He didn't come here to study. Honestly, he's kind of pitiful. If he had parents keeping him in check, things might have turned out differently. Bree scoffs. Pitiful? You're just too kind, always making excuses for everyone. Bree only dares to mock me behind my back now. Not a word to my face. The girls' tennis match gets underway. I watch closely. Today's match is brutal from the start. Lily and Ella both pick up yellow cards within the first few minutes, leaving the crowd stunned. Under normal circumstances, matches don't start this heated. Ella came in with one target, Sophia. She's determined to outplay her, to make me look at her again. She doesn't have to want me, but I am not allowed to stop wanting her. She wants to prove she's the one worth loving. But Lily came out of nowhere and has been going straight at her. For Sophia, this match is effortless. She's not even playing at her real level. Yongchuan's school team is strong, but Sophia is in a league of her own even compared to them. After a few solid shots, she starts coasting. I sit quietly watching her. Her whole energy is completely different from everyone else. Ella is fighting to win and finding no opening. Meanwhile, Sophia looks like she came here for fun. At the half, the players' rest area is right in front of where I'm sitting. Sophia watches Lily. You're going hard today. She's noticed Lily zeroing in on Ella. That's not like her. Some guy called me ugly, Lily says. I need to put on a show, make him understand what I'm capable of. Sophia takes it in, quietly files it away and says nothing. Lily finishes her water and turns around. She spots me in the stands. She grins and calls out loud, how about that? Pretty badass, right? Your girl Ella got demolished by me. The moment the words leave her mouth, Sophia glances at her. Lily doesn't know why, but suddenly the back of her neck feels cold. Compared to Lily's relentless energy, I notice Sophia showing very little enthusiasm toward me. Right now, for instance, Lily turned to look at me, but Sophia just sits there. She's always been reserved. She probably just doesn't like being the center of attention in settings like this. But the more she holds back, the more interesting I find her. I smile and call out, Sophia, you were incredible out there. Lily hears me calling out to Sophia and snorts. She leans towards Sophia. My man is deliberately trying to get under my skin. We had a little argument the other day and he's still holding a grudge. Sophia glances at Lily. Is that so? She doesn't turn to look at me, but look closely. Her ears have gone noticeably red. In the second half, Sophia plays with full focus. In the first half, Ella and Lily had been locked in a fierce back and forth. But in the second half, with Sophia on court, Ella can't return a single shot. The match ends in a landslide. Manhwa loses badly, and the one who takes the hardest fall is Ella. For a long time, people talked about Sophia from Yongchuan and Ella from Manhwa. In the same breath, the general consensus had drifted toward them being roughly equal. Today's match settles it. In every way that matters, Ella cannot compete with Sophia. Every time Sophia scores, I lose it. I can barely stay in my seat. Before, I never paid Sophia any real attention. I had no idea what she was actually capable of. Looking back now, I really was blind. Ryan and Bree had rallied their people to cheer for Ella. Now they sit in silence, nothing left to say. My section is packed with Sophia's fans. Everyone around me is ecstatic. And me, I'm the most worked up of all. Eyes locked on Sophia, I'm practically squealing under my breath. Bree mutters, does he even remember which school he goes to? Thank God Sophia wouldn't look at him twice, otherwise it'd be physically disgusting. The words are barely out of Bree's mouth when Sophia, just off the court, walks toward the stands and stops right in front of me. As she approaches, the guys around me are all reacting. I look at her. You were amazing. Sophia says, water. Her voice is like a gentle breeze, soft and smooth. I never imagined one person could be this exceptional in every way, and have a voice like that on top of it all. The guy closest to her quickly holds out a bottle, but Sophia doesn't take it. She looks at me. I pick up a bottle and hold it out to her. You really were incredible. My voice comes out soft. Those few simple words are enough to make the corner of Sophia's mouth lift. Under my gaze, she tips the bottle back and drinks. Lily, who had been ready to swoop in and show off, watches this unfold with wide eyes. What just happened? She's been working so hard all day to impress him, and Sophia just swooped in and took the moment. More importantly, Sophia has never once shown interest in any guy. She always brings her own water to matches. She never interacts with male students. She keeps everyone at a distance, at school and everywhere else. And yet right now, could Sophia actually like him? The thought hits Lily like a shock. Sophia finishes the water and says, I'm going to change. Let's go home together after school. I nod. Sure. Sophia turns and walks back. Lily stares, jaw dropped. Sophia, you know him? Sophia says calmly, I'm pursuing him. Everyone is saying I'm being kept by an older woman, and Sophia just said she is pursuing me. That word, pursuing. Since when does Sophia need to pursue anyone? Normally all she'd have to do is give the slightest nod and anyone would fall over themselves to be with her. Noticing Lily staring, Sophia asks, what? Got a problem with that? Lily doesn't dare have a problem. She just never imagined I was the one Sophia had her eye on. She's been flirting with me all day, and it turns out she was flirting with Sophia's person. Thinking back to everything she said in front of Sophia earlier, Lily wants to slap herself. She scrambles to apologize. I swear I didn't know. If I had, there's no way I would have acted like that toward him. Not toward your guy. Sophia's expression stays completely composed. It's fine. He wasn't interested in you anyway. Lily genuinely wants to say, was that necessary? Seeing Sophia completely serious, Lily asks, so where exactly do things stand between you two? Sophia answers, he hasn't fallen for me yet. She's my tutor, yes. But Sophia suspects I haven't truly fallen for her. I used to like Ella. Maybe Sophia is just someone I'm using to get under Ella's skin, but if she can be useful to me in some way, she's fine with that. Being by my side is already enough to make her happy. Lily takes in what Sophia said, and glances back at me in the stands. I'm standing there, looking her way. All that cheering I did, Lily thought I was just a simp for Sophia. Turns out Sophia is the one doing the chasing. The two people at the center of it all are completely calm. Everyone else is losing their minds over what they just overheard. The group chat explodes. Does Sophia actually have feelings for Jack? Not long ago I was Ella's simp. She didn't even see me. I ran errands for her like a servant, day after day. And now the person who outclasses Ella in every way has gotten herself tied to me. Ella comes out of the locker room, changed and dark. She lost the match. And the one who beat her didn't just win, she crushed her. Ryan and Bree trail behind, wanting to say something comforting, but they can't find the words. They're just as deflated. A moment ago they were certain someone like Sophia could never be interested in me. Then they watched her walk straight up to me herself. Bree says, is Sophia blind? How could she possibly be interested in him? Does she not know who Jack is? Ryan's expression is stone. He used to tell himself, no matter what I did, Ella would always choose him. But seeing Sophia connect with me today, pushes him to the edge. Why someone like me, already rich, is now somehow within reach of someone like Sophia. Maybe they just didn't try hard enough. If they had gone to cheer for Sophia today, maybe things would be different. I walk out of the gym. The guys who were sitting with me earlier look over. Jack, you know Sophia. I give a casual nod. Are you two together? They were close enough to see it. The way Sophia looked at me was unmistakable. They can't help wondering. No, I say. We're just engaged. I'm warm towards Sophia, sure, but that's largely because of what I lived through before. This time around, I genuinely don't know what she thinks of me beyond the engagement. After what happened with Ella, I don't dare assume. I'm not about to become anyone's simp again. Seeing their curious faces, I add, our families know each other. That's all. They look at me. So your family actually is wealthy. We thought, I don't dodge it, that I was being kept by an older woman. A few of them look guilty. That's what the post said. Someone was picking me up from school. I laugh. Think what you want. It doesn't bother me. It's not true, and frankly the whole thing is just funny. Like I need someone to support me. I wave goodbye to the guys from the other classes and head back to my classroom. I walk in and everyone stares. I'm used to it by now. I sit down quietly. The girl at the desk in front turns and stares straight at me, her tone dripping with passive aggression. We lost the match and you look perfectly happy about it. She and Ella are on the same team. I smile. You lost the match, I didn't. Why wouldn't I be happy? Getting noticed by Sophia, you must feel pretty special, she says. I let out a quiet laugh. What's wrong? Upset she didn't notice you. That shuts her up. She turns back around fuming. A little while later, Ella comes back with Ryan and Bri. Ella drops into her seat. I glance at her. I can sense it. Ella's anger is reaching a boiling point. She's always like this after losing to Sophia. I used to rally behind her, sharing her frustration. Now I just find it funny. Ella's gaze lands on me. She sees me smile, and her eyes go colder. Why are you looking at me? I say. Your skills weren't good enough. That's not my fault. Ella stares back at me. She lost, and instead of even a word of comfort, I'm sitting here mocking her. It gets under her skin. Every time she lost to Sophia before, I'd buy her things, bring her gifts, coax her out of her mood, tell her she was better than Sophia in every way. Now I'm the one making it worse. The bell rings. I pack up quickly, stand, and walk out. Seeing me leave, Ella stands too. She grabs her things and follows. She moves fast. Ryan can't keep up. I've barely reached the stairwell when Ella is right behind me, grabbing my arm. I turn and look at her. What are you doing, Ella? Ella stares at me, eyes red. I stop. She holds herself together barely. Are you really planning to be with Sophia? The question catches me off guard. She never used to care about things like this. What's going on with her? The way she's looking at me, like I'm the one who let her down. I reach to remove her hand from my wrist, but she's gripping tight. I can't help but laugh. Wasn't I the one you found suffocating? You told me every day I spent chasing you felt like a nightmare to you. Those were her exact words. Right before I died. I didn't know until she said it. All that love I poured into her, it disgusted her. Turns out giving someone everything you have doesn't make it precious. To them, it was just a burden. Ella freezes when she hears me. She insists she never said anything like that. She has no memory of it at all. Of course I know the Ella standing before me never said those words, but that doesn't mean she never thought them. I let out a cold laugh. But you always hated me, didn't you? If you didn't hate me, why were you always with Ryan? Why did you give him things that belonged to me? I treated you so well, and yet you treated me like a servant. As I say the words, I squeeze out a few tears. The truth is, I feel nothing for Ella anymore. After everything I've been through, all that's left inside me is hatred. I've lived this once already. There's no way I could ever love her again. But the Jack of my past life spent his entire life chasing after her love, desperately hoping she would give him just a little more, and in the end, he was left with nothing but a miserable fate. Every time I think back on it, a deep hollow sadness floods through me. That overwhelming grief rises up before I can stop it. If I hadn't been given this second chance, the version of me she abandoned in that rundown apartment, how pitiful he must have been. The thought alone makes my eyes sting. Ella stares at my reddened eyes. She only came looking for me because she couldn't stand seeing me get so close to Sophia. But this time, she sees something in my eyes she has never seen before. Real pain. She never liked me, she liked Ryan, so why does my grief make her feel like she has committed some unforgivable sin? Did she really hurt me that deeply? I don't know, Ella says quietly. I just don't want to talk about feelings. Even now, she's still making excuses. I reach up and wipe my tears away. I know, you just don't want anything with me. You and Ryan are the ones who are perfectly matched, right? So whether I'm with Sophia or Lily, that's none of your business, is it? She wants to say something more. My reaction has clearly stirred a guilt she wasn't expecting. While we're still facing each other, Ryan and Bri have already appeared. Ryan stands at the top of the staircase looking down at me and Ella. He stares at us, visibly surprised. From where he stands, we're standing very close together, and Ella still has her hand wrapped around mine. The moment Ryan appears, something clicks in Ella's mind and she quickly lets go. I watch her instinctive reaction and give a bitter smile. Of course, seeing me with Sophia must have rattled her. After all, her cash cow just walked away. But Ryan will always be the one who matters most to her, and I'm just dying to watch things get messy between them. I lower my head and say, so please don't come looking for me in private. I wouldn't want Ryan to get the wrong idea. Without waiting for a response, I turn and head downstairs. The moment I reach the bottom of the stairs, those glassy, tearful eyes are wiped completely clean. I have absolutely no reason to cry over a snake like her. That little performance upstairs? Just me having a bit of fun. She deceived me so thoroughly in my past life. This time around, I won't let her off so easily. When she's at her lowest, I'll always leave her just a flicker of hope. The illusion that I still care. Watching me leave, Ryan slowly makes his way downstairs. He turns to Ella. What exactly happened between you two? I thought I saw him crying just now. I'm going back, Ella says flatly. She's in no mood for this, and she has no idea how to explain any of it to Ryan. My behavior just now made one thing clear. I still have feelings for her. It was her coldness that pushed me toward Sophia. Maybe she never should have let me find out about her and Ryan. I've barely stepped out of school when I spot Sophia standing quietly by the gate, waiting for me. She's changed out of her athletic wear and is now in the school uniform. Lily is standing beside her. The two of them are waiting patiently. The moment I appear, Lily spots me first. She nudges Sophia. Your man is here! At the sound of her voice, Sophia turns to look my way. The school grounds are crowded, and all eyes are on Sophia. Seeing her on the court is one thing. Seeing her here like this is something else entirely. In the same uniform, Lily somehow looks a little plain. But on Sophia, the simple clean uniform looks effortlessly stunning. When she sees me, she walks over and takes my bag without a word. From the way she acts, it's clear she genuinely cares about me. I'm not the one chasing after her. It's mutual. Sophia doesn't seem to care what anyone thinks. Her eyes settle on me. Let's go eat first. I nod. My mood hasn't been touched by Ella at all. She doesn't deserve that kind of power over me. Lily beams at me. Hey there! I glance at her with a flat look. Sensing my displeasure, Lily quickly backpedals. Okay, I was blind to greatness before. I didn't mean to get on your bad side. Please don't be mad at me, I really am sorry. She keeps using that nickname, but I can't be bothered to argue. I simply turn to Sophia and ask, are you two friends? A clear hint of indifference in my voice. Sophia glances at Lily and says, no. Hey, come on, Lily protests immediately. It's all my fault. I'm apologizing to you. You were the first person to say to my face that I was being kept by an older woman. I remember it perfectly. I was wrong, Lily says in a small voice. It's all those people online spreading nonsense. I'll get to the bottom of it and find out who started it. I'll make it right for you, I swear. The car from Sophia's family has already pulled up. Sophia ignores Lily entirely. She opens the car door and looks at me. Get in! Lily stands at the roadside watching us both get in. She gives a polite wave. I won't keep you then. I'll head off first. See you next time. Wishing you two a lifetime of happiness and a house full of kids. Sophia rolls up the window with a sigh. Ignore her. I didn't expect you to know her. Sophia reaches over and buckles my seatbelt for me. We just play tennis together sometimes. The mention of tennis brings her match back to mind. The way she moved on the court. I can't help myself. Sophia, you are incredible out there. You scored so much on your own, you should have seen the look on Ella's face. Sophia takes the praise with quiet composure. She's just not good enough. If it weren't for Ella, she wouldn't have shown up to that match at all. Hearing Sophia speak about Ella so bluntly, I find that rather amusing. I didn't think she had it in her to talk about someone like that. Though, to be fair, everything she said was true. You really are something else, I say. I honestly can't find a single flaw in you. You're beautiful, your grades are great, and now this. Every guy sitting near me today was totally taken with you. I don't know any of them, Sophia says simply. Of course you don't. I'm just saying, you're remarkable. But showing up at my school like this, staying so close to me, aren't you worried about what people might say behind your back? Sophia looks at me. What would they say? There are still people online saying I'm being kept by an older woman. People at school say it too. My reputation isn't exactly spotless. I don't care about any of that, Sophia says. I smile slightly. From her expression, it's clear she already knew about the rumor. She hasn't brought it up once in the past few days. Could it be that she came, today, partly to stand up for me? The driver takes us to the restaurant. We've barely sat down when my phone buzzes with a message. I open it. It's from Ella. 2 words. I'm sorry. Jack stares at the screen for a moment. She actually apologized, so she really doesn't want me getting close to Sophia. Maybe that's just human nature. No matter how much she looked down on me, the moment I stop chasing her and turn to someone else, she panics. What do you feel like eating? Sophia asks. Anything works for me, you pick first. Sophia orders a few dishes, then remembers Jack likes spicy food and adds a few more for him. They've been having dinner together most evenings lately. Sophia knows him well by now. Uncle Owen still hasn't been back recently. He's been really busy, I say with a sigh. The topic weighs on Jack. In his past life, his father died in a car accident just before his college entrance exams. These days he's focused on pushing his grades up, and the time he gets to spend with his father is scarce. His father has always been this way. Even when Jack wanted more time with him, there was never enough to spare. But Jack has a plan. When the time comes, he'll find a way to keep his father from leaving that day. That should be enough to stop the accident. Sophia watches Jack chew quietly, his eyes fixed on the table, clearly lost in thought. She's noticed he drifts like this sometimes. Her instincts tell her there's something he's keeping hidden, but if he doesn't want to share, she won't push. Ella returns home to find her father Steve back, the same man who has spent the last stretch of time gambling. He's waiting in her room. When he sees her walk in, his expression is cold. How are things going with Jack lately? Nothing's going on. Ella had spent the whole walk home turning over her feelings about Jack. Now, facing her father, her expression hardens. Nothing? I told you to go win him over. You still haven't managed that? At the sight of him, Ella's voice goes flat. Why should I have to win anyone over? He already fired me. Am I supposed to go crawling back to him? Don't I have any dignity? Deep down, seeing Jack with Sophia does sting. There's a part of her that wants to pull him back. But looking at her father, right now she's grateful she and Jack are no longer together. She barely finishes her sentence before Steve lunges forward and slaps her across the face. You stupid girl! If you don't get him back, where are we supposed to get money? Now, how much money do you have on you? Hand it over. He's lost everything at the table again. It's written all over him. Ella stares at him. You've been gambling again. Stay out of my business. Don't be like your mother. Disgusting. Keep it up and I'll beat you senseless. When you were with Jack, money was never an issue. I could play all I wanted and it didn't matter. But you had to go and get involved with that broke nobody. And now look. You've let a golden catch slip right through your fingers. Get him back, or I won't let this go. Steve storms out. Once he's gone, Ella checks the hiding spot under her bed. The money she stashed there is gone. He's already found it. The apartment is small. Growing up with just her father, she's never had any real privacy. There are only so many places to hide things. When she was with Jack, she used to quietly set aside some of the money he gave her. University was coming. Expenses everywhere. Her father would be useless. She had only herself to rely on. But even so, he found it anyway. By the time Ella steps back out, he's already gone. She stares at the empty doorway, then kicks the wall hard. After dinner, Jack and Sophia step out of the restaurant to find it's raining. The driver takes Jack home and holds an umbrella out for him. Jack steps out of the car. Sophia takes the umbrella and walks him to his door. Okay, the rain's getting heavy, you should head back, Jack tells her. Sophia looks at him gently. Good night. Her voice is soft. Jack looks back at her, those bright eyes fixed on him. He feels his face go warm. He nods. You too, get some rest. See you tomorrow. Sophia nods, takes the umbrella back and gets into the car. Jack watches her go and realizes, being with her really does make him happy. The car pulls away. Jack is just about to head inside when a familiar voice calls his name. Jack. He turns. Ella steps out of the shadows. She has no umbrella. He has no idea how long she's been standing there. She's completely soaked. The sight of her catches me off guard. What are you doing here? First that apology text, now showing up in person. Looks like my little performance this afternoon hit harder than I thought. Ella looks at me. I was smiling just moments ago, but the second I see her, my expression goes cold.
So you're that happy with Sophia?
Yeah, I am, Jack says. She treats me well. Unlike some people, Ella has always kept a cold face around Jack. Seeing her look like this, almost tender, is something rare, even knowing she's ice through and through. Even knowing every bit of this is an act. Seeing a side of her he's never seen before still stirs something oddly satisfying in him. What do you want, Ella? Jack asks. A faint smile tugs at the corner of Ella's mouth. So you've really made up your mind, you're done with me. What, running low on cash again? Jack says. The only time you ever look at me like that is when you need money. You're overthinking it, Ella says, holding his gaze. I just wanted to see you. She turns to leave. I'm going home. She turns and starts walking, and within moments Jack watches her collapse to the ground. Jack calls for Auntie Chen. She hurries over and stares at the figure on the ground, visibly shaken. Isn't that Miss Ella? What happened to her? Not sure, she collapsed. Auntie Chen holds the umbrella over Ella and presses a hand to her forehead. She's burning up, must be a fever, what do we do? Are we going to take care of her? Bring her inside, Jack says. Get a doctor. Should I put her in her old room? Auntie Chen asks hesitantly. Wasn't there a room Uncle Steve used to stay in? Put her there for now. The room Jack used to give her was arranged to his own high standards. Letting her have that now would be a waste. The way things stand, the staff quarters are more than enough for her. Auntie Chen has Ella moved to the staff room. Then she calls for the doctor. The doctor confirms it's just a fever, nothing serious. They let her rest. Jack stands by the window looking out at the courtyard. The rain is relentless tonight. He's already showered, but sleep won't come. A message from Sophia lights up his phone. I'm home, Jack replies. Just finished showering. Then get some rest. Good. Good night. Jack sets down his phone and falls asleep. The next morning, Jack comes downstairs to find Auntie Chen has already prepared breakfast. He sits down and asks, how's Ella? She woke up around dawn and left first thing. Jack looks up, caught off guard. Really? I assumed she was still here. I told her to wait until you were up, but she wouldn't listen. That girl, I can never tell what's going on in her head. Honestly, same, Jack says. She's impossible to figure out. Auntie Chen looks at Jack warmly. If you ask me, Miss Sophia is so much better for you. Young master, please keep your distance from Ella from now on. She's worried he might fall back into being a lovesick fool all over again. Jack laughs. Relax. The only reason I even bothered last night was because she collapsed at my door. I didn't want that bad omen on my conscience. Auntie Chen smiles with relief. Good. Ever since Jack stopped being a lovesick fool, she stopped worrying the way she used to. The spoiled young master has really grown up. By the time Jack gets to school, Ella has already gone home, changed, and come back. When she sees Jack walk in, she keeps her head down and says nothing. She's back to her usual cold self. Jack thinks she has some nerve. He practically saved her life last night, and she can't even manage a thank you. He drops into his seat and ignores her right back. Does she really think he's still the same lapdog he used to be? When class ends, Ryan comes over. He and Ella head off together for a student council meeting. Ryan looks at Ella as they walk. Are you feeling better today? Ella glances at him. I'm fine. Losing the match yesterday wasn't really the issue, but seeing Ella with Jack yesterday has been weighing on Ryan's mind. Ella says nothing. After Steve took her money yesterday, her mood has been dark ever since. Ryan sees she's not talking and takes a breath. Ella, if you want to be with Jack, I support you. I really do. You're overthinking it, Ella says, looking straight at Ryan. I have zero feelings for Jack. I'm not getting back with him. I just can't stand watching him walk around with Sophia like everything's fine. I don't want them to get off so easy. Ryan nods. Good, Ella, no matter what. I'm always on your side. Ella gives a small nod. Then she thinks of her father, using her to swindle money from Jack's family. There's no way she'll be part of that. Steve has no limits. She's always known that. She refuses to let him turn her into his tool. That's why she left Jack's house the moment she came to her senses this morning. She wants nothing more to do with him. In the days that follow, Ella spends all her time with Ryan. She stops hovering around Jack entirely. Jack doesn't spare them a second thought. He focuses on his classes every day. In his free time, he browses property listings and buys tie. Prices are still low now. Later, they'll skyrocket. One afternoon, Jack leaves school a little later than usual. He stayed behind to finish some homework. By the time he steps out, the school gate is nearly empty. Young Master Jack! The moment he steps outside, someone calls out to him. He looks up and sees Steve. Uncle Steve, Jack says. Here to see Ella? Steve looks at me. Yeah, just checking on her. That rotten girl, I've been giving her an earful lately. It's her own fault. She just had to go after that Ryan kid. No sense of what's good for her. Don't be too hard on her, Steve says. I'm not angry, Jack replies. Jack takes in Steve's disheveled appearance and frowns slightly. Just then, Ella and Ryan come out of the school. Seeing Jack and Steve together, Ella can't help herself. What are you two doing here? Last time Steve took her money, he disappeared for days. Now he's back, which means he's broke again. Steve shoots her a dismissive look. I'm talking to my son-in-law, none of your business, get lost. Ella turns her sharp gaze on Jack. And you, why are you still standing there? What, do you actually want to be his son-in-law?
Take a look in the mirror first. Get out of here.
She lets loose at Jack without holding back. Jack already knows she's never been warm to him, but even so, the force of it catches him off guard. He stares at her. This woman, every single time. It takes him a few seconds to recover. You flatter yourself. Who would want anything to do with you? He fires back and walks away. Steve calls after him. Don't you worry, son-in-law. I'll send Ella to find you in a couple of days. I'll straighten this girl out when we get home. He tries to follow Jack, but Ella steps in front of him and blocks his path. Steve seethes. He glares at her. What do you think you're doing? You won't make an effort yourself and now you're stopping me too? We finally had him right here and you drove him off. Can't you do anything right? Jack is already in the car. He watches through the window as Ella blocks Steve, her face tight. Stop coming to my school. I'll come whenever I want, Steve snaps. Where's the money? You don't know how to make money? I don't have any, Ella says. You took it all last time. That was my university fund. So what have you been doing about it? The question set Steve off. Back when Ella had Jack wrapped around her finger, he had no complaints whatsoever. He didn't care that she was spending every day with Ryan, because Jack didn't seem to mind either. But now things are different. Jack has cut Ella off because of Ryan. Steve can no longer afford to let things slide. This is my problem to handle, Ella says. Go home, I have a shift to get to. A shift, a shift. Steve throws up his hands.
That's all you know.
How much does that miserable job even pay you in a month? You'd be better off winning Jack back. Look what you just did, you chased him off. So what if I don't like him? That's my right. You, Steve raises his hand, then remembers they're in front of a school. We'll finish this at home. Money, now. If you don't give me any, I'll go find Jack myself. Go get money, did you hear me? You're just like your mother, heartless. Ella's face is stone cold. Whether you live or die is none of my concern. She steps onto the bus at the stop and doesn't wait for Ryan. Steve watches her go, fuming. He looks down at the few hundred in his hand. That daughter of his is getting harder and harder to control. Ryan had walked out with Ella, but seeing the scene unfold, he hung back. He watched from a distance, not daring to step in. Only once they're both gone does he come out. He'd only ever known Steve as a driver. He had no idea that was Ella's father. And the fact that he came here demanding money when Ella has nothing left, that's a lot to take in. He'd figured stepping in would only make things messier and more embarrassing. So he stayed back and waited it out. Jack sits in the car for a long moment before finally telling the driver to go. He thinks about the way Ella just laid into him and almost laughs. I don't even want her. And yet she's worried I might actually marry her, just because her dad said a few nice things? Jack gets home. Auntie Chen beams at him. Welcome back, young master. Jack gives a quiet, Who upset you? Auntie Chen asks. She picks up on his mood immediately.
Nothing. Just a bad omen of a person. When Sophia gets here, send her up to the study.
Sophia has been arriving later than usual lately. Jack isn't sure what's keeping her.
He's barely gone upstairs when Sophia arrives.
The young master seems a bit off today. Sophia frowns. What happened? Auntie Chen shakes her head. He didn't say, but it's got to be something to do with Ella. She's the only one who makes him shut down like that. Sophia heads upstairs and opens the study door. She finds Jack at his computer watching this year's most popular holiday comedy sketch. He's watching intently and laughing genuinely. Sophia walks over and settles into the empty seat beside him. Jack glances at her. You're here. Sophia meets his eyes. Got held up. You've been busy lately too. She used to arrive early every day, always finishing school before Jack, but lately something seems to be filling up her time. At the mention of it, Sophia nods. It won't affect our sessions though. I'll always make time to come and your grades have been improving a lot lately. Jack looks at her. You're planning to study in the capital after graduation, aren't you? The question catches Sophia off guard. Truthfully, her family has been pushing her to go for a while now, but she stayed. She looks at him. How did you know? Jack smiles slightly. Because I lived it once already. But that all happened after the college exams. Things I haven't told her. Back then, it never crossed his mind to leave. Ella had chosen a local school, so he stayed too. In truth, Ella's scores in that life were high enough for the top 2, but she chose to stay in Yunville. Jack never understood why. Maybe she couldn't bear to leave this place. Maybe she couldn't bear to leave Ryan. He never kept anything from her. But she never told him anything. And then his father died around that time, making everything worse. I'll go, Sophia says, but probably after the exams are over. Do you think my grades could get me into a school in the capital? Sophia looks at me and nods. Yes, if you really want it, you can get there. Jack closes the video on his computer and stretches. Then that's the goal. Sophia blinks, a little surprised.
You want to go to the capital?
I just want to give it everything I've got, Jack says. I've been given a second chance. Might as well aim high. If you don't even dare to dream it, no amount of luck in the world will make it fall into your lap. Sophia watches him, that familiar confidence back in his eyes. Feeling better? Ella got under my skin, Jack admits, and gives her a quick rundown of what happened at the school gate. Isn't that ridiculous? I never said anything about marrying her. She acted like I was going to drag her to the altar, and then she goes off on me like that. Unbelievable. She likes Ryan. Fine. Nobody's desperate for her. It's my own fault. I was blind before. I made her think she mattered that much. Sophia looks at him and says softly,
Our Jack is the best. Way too good for someone like her.
Jack hears the words and looks over at her, only to find her gazing straight at him with quiet sincerity. His face goes warm before he can stop it. Good grief. He thought his heart had died somewhere in his past life. But when Sophia speaks to him like this, something impossibly shy stirs inside him. It takes him a long moment to collect himself. Do you talk to everyone like that? No, Sophia says. I don't say things like that casually. So that means I'm different to you. Sophia stiffens slightly at that. She looks away and puts on a very serious expression. I made a promise to Uncle Owen to take good care of you. The moment she brings up his father, Jack deflates a little. She really is too obedient for her own good. If your family told you to be with someone else in the future, would you just go along with that too? Sophia turns to look at Jack. Her expression is hard to read. Seeing the question land somewhere deep, Jack waves it off. Forget it, I was just joking. Don't take it so seriously, you make me feel like I'm picking on you. Jack gets the sense that Sophia might not actually have feelings for him. Sophia, is there someone you like? Sophia blinks, thrown by the question. Why are you asking that? Just curious, Jack says. Your arrangement with my dad is your business, but you must have your own feelings about things. If there's someone you actually like, don't force yourself to stay. Sophia looks at Jack for a long moment before she speaks. We've been spending every day together lately. Are you getting tired of me? There's a flicker of hurt in her eyes. Jack gets to his feet. I'm going to head home, that's not what I meant at all. I wasn't trying to push you away. Hey, Sophia, come on, don't be like this. But she's already gone. Auntie Chen sees her coming downstairs. Miss Sophia? I'm heading out, Sophia says, her expression tight. Of course, take care, Auntie Chen replies. Jack comes downstairs to find Sophia already gone. Auntie Chen looks at him. What happened? She's upset again, Jack mutters. I was just making conversation. How does she manage to take offense at everything? She's so sensitive. Just as Jack moves to go after her, Auntie Chen stops him. The people from the property company said they'd be coming by shortly. Jack remembers. He's been in the middle of some property deals. He reins himself in and stays to handle business first. When Ella gets home after her shift, Steve is still there. Any other time, he would have left by now. But he's come back with nothing, ransacked the apartment for money and found none, and is now sitting there smoking. When he sees Ella walk in, Steve says, worked all night and brought home what? A few pennies? If you give me $1,000 a month, that's already impressive. Still not worth a fingernail clipping compared to what Jack could give. Whatever I earn it myself, Ella says. And what does effort get you? You couldn't earn in a lifetime what Jack used to hand you. Don't get full of yourself just because you work hard. This world runs on money and connections, nothing else. Remember when you lived at Jack's place? The life we had then. Look at us now. I'm not doing it, Ella says. And aren't you afraid of getting labeled a scammer and hauled off one day? You'll ruin your own life. Just don't drag me down with you. Ella turns to face him. You talk about family money and status. So why haven't you as a father done anything to build that? Steve sputters, caught off guard. Then he recovers. I had bad luck, all right. And your mother, useless woman, sick all the time. That's what dragged me down. That's why I pushed you toward Jack. What does Ryan have to offer? You'd marry him and spend your life scraping by. The Jack family is loaded. And that boy was crazy about you. A little sweetness from you and he'd have been putty in your hands. I don't like him, Ella says. And I won't be with someone I don't like. Like him? What's liking someone worth? I'm not asking you to fall in love. I'm asking you to get his money. What's the problem? I won't do it. When she thinks about Jack, she knows they were never meant to live in the same world. She simply refuses to walk that path with him. She can't deny that life was simpler when he was around. But seeing her father gloat like this makes her sick. He drove her mother away. He mistreated her all her life, and now he wants to ride her coattails. All he does is gamble. A man like this, he deserves nothing. Steve snorts. If I hadn't given you those looks of yours, do you think anyone would even glance your way? And sure, your grades are good, but mine weren't bad either back in the day. Owen isn't anything special. His test scores back then weren't even as good as mine. He only got where he is because his family had money. Ella's expression goes stone cold. She walks straight into her room and shuts the door. Steve stands outside ranting for a good while. Ella rolls up some tissue and plugs her ears. The next morning at school, Jack sees Ella walk in. There's a visible mark on her face. Jack stares. What happened to her? Did someone hit her? He thinks back to yesterday's scene with Steve. Did he actually beat her when she got home? Ella takes her seat. Everyone who notices goes quiet. Ryan sees her too. The sight of the injury visibly shocks him. Ella sits down without a word. Jack watches her. This stubborn as a mule, perpetually unlucky girl. He can't help himself. Did your dad hit you? Ella turns to look at Jack, her face cold. What, you want to help me again? Fine, give me a few million then. He's racked up a mountain of gambling debts. A few million from you and I'll date you, how's that? When she speaks, her eyes are full of mockery, as if she's mocking me for my stupidity. It's the kind of look that makes your blood boil. I was just asking a simple question, Jack says. And you jump straight to millions, and dating me on top of it. What kind of logic is that? Then stay out of my business. Ella looks away, head down. The truth is, it wasn't her father who hit her. Debt collectors showed up at the house early this morning, looking for Steve, and Ella got caught in the middle. They warned her to get the money sorted. When she lived at Jack's, none of this would ever have reached her. Her father had a decent salary back then, and Jack's money kept coming in. Even when Steve took from her, he never cleaned her out entirely. She spent freely on purpose. She spends money freely, simply because she does not want to give all her money to her father. Compared to those days, the life she's living now is a disaster. But she refuses to get close to Jack again. If she did what Steve wanted, stringing Jack along, draining him, she's afraid she'd end up becoming just like her father. Jack looks at Ella with an expression full of warmth. Actually, I do care about you. The word care catches Ella off guard. She looks at him. Jack's smile curves. I care about how you're doing. The moment I hear things are going badly for you, I feel completely at ease. That warm, sincere expression, delivering the most infuriating words imaginable. Next time your dad goes after you, Jack adds, let me know. I'd love to be there to cheer him on. Ella yanks out her textbook, her expression murderous. Pushed past her limit, she finally snaps. You don't actually think being with Sophia is going to make you happy, do you? She's way out of your league in every way. Someone like her getting close to someone like you, she has to have an agenda. Jack clenches his jaw. What happens between me and Sophia is none of your business. Jack glances over at Ryan, who is sitting there diligently writing something. Usually he'd have rushed over to check on Ella by now, but today he hasn't even looked her way. He's just focused on studying, Ella says. Right, Jack says, and when your dad showed up yesterday, he was right there, staying well out of it. Ella, tell me you're not about to get dumped by me and then by him too. Ryan has always been sharp. He never lets himself get pulled into anything that could hurt him. Ella may have everything going for her, but Ryan must have serious reservations about that gambling father of hers. In the past life, the reason their love story worked at all was because the Jack family was quietly carrying the weight for both of them. Back then, Ella had access to unlimited funds to manage her father. Now that Jack has cut ties, the cracks in Ella's life are showing. In that other life, something like this would never have happened to Ella. Jack had taken care of everything before it could. Now, Jack's words leave Ella with nowhere comfortable to look. Just as Jack predicted, Ryan doesn't come to find her after class. He seems busy. Bri comes over and takes one look at Ella. Hey, what happened to your face? Did you get into a fight? She's a model student. This kind of thing seems out of character. Ella just says, it's nothing. Bree glances at Jack, then back at Ella. Should we report it to someone? Do you need help? No. Jack watches Bree fuss over Ella and wonders aloud, what's Ryan so busy with? Bree glances back at Ryan and tells me, Ryan's been working on a speech the teacher assigned. Why? Ah, I say flatly. Busy then. Meanwhile, Ella's sitting here injured and he hasn't even looked over. Bree bristles. That's between the two of them. They know what they're doing. What do you mean by that? Ryan cares more about Ella than anyone. He's the most devoted person to her there is. They're even planning to apply to the same university. Not that you'd manage that. No matter how much money your family has, you can't buy your way into the college entrance exam. As Bri talks, Ryan sits nearby listening, desperately wishing he could clap a hand over her mouth. He's been trying so hard to stay invisible, and here's Bri blabbering on and drawing every bit of attention right back to him. I turn to Ella. Which school are you planning to apply to? In the past life, both Ella and Ryan ended up at Yunville University. But Jack has always been curious. Why did Ella settle for that when she could have gone to the top two? Back then he assumed it was because of Ryan. Ella looks at him. Why do you want to know? Just curious, Jack says with a grin. I figured if I knew where you two were going, maybe I'd apply there too. It'd be nice to all be at the same school, right? And I'd get to see firsthand whether you two really are built to last. Are you serious? Bree cuts in. Your grades are nowhere near theirs. You really think you can keep up? Sure, you've improved, but you're not even in the top 10 in our class. You think you can get into the same school as them? Ella seems to share the sentiment. She looks at him almost dryly. We're going for the top two. Come along if you can. Ella does genuinely want to get into the top two. Getting into the capital means escaping Steve, ending his harassment, and maybe finding her mother. So Yunville University is off the table? Jack says, genuinely surprised. Why would I settle for Yunville? Ella says. That might be your ceiling, it's not mine. Alright then, Jack says with a smile. Top two it is for me too. Bree finds it amusing, but she holds back from saying anything more. She's worried she might go too far and actually make Jack angry. She goes back to sit beside Ryan. Jack is too much, she whispers. He said he wants to get into the top two. He doesn't actually think his grades are that good, does he? Ryan looks up at Jack. He had once hoped Jack would fall back into his feelings for Ella, but Sophia's arrival has made that feel increasingly unlikely. His eyes linger on Jack. He turns to Bree. Tell me, do you think Jack still has feelings for Ella? If he does, that would be ideal. If Jack still liked Ella, at least Steve would stop showing up at school making scenes, and Ella would have money again. Bree hears him and narrows her eyes. If he even thinks about going back to Ella, I'll tear him apart. Ryan glances at Bree. Having a friend who completely misses the point every single time is genuinely exhausting. That afternoon, Ryan and Ella head to their meeting. Once they're alone, Ryan turns to her. That injury, what happened? Did your dad do that? No, Ella says. Some people came looking for my dad. There was a confrontation. Money? Ryan had seen enough yesterday to piece it together. Ella nods. Yes. Ryan looks at her and takes a breath, working up the nerve to say what's been on his mind. Ella, this can't keep going. Have you thought about going to Jack for help? What kind of help? Ella looks at him, confused. Didn't. You used to tutor him? Maybe you could go back to doing that. We weren't exactly kind to him before, I'll admit, but he's still a wealthy young master. We should be a little warmer to him. He probably wouldn't mind having one more tutor. No, Ella says firmly. I don't want that. She was already let go by Jack. She's not gonna go begging. She may be broke, but she still has her pride. What's wrong with it? Ryan says. You'd just be tutoring him for money. You'd earn more than that cafe job pays you. And you'd have a way to deal with your dad's situation. Something about being pushed toward Jack by Ryan sits wrong with Ella. You'd really be okay with me tutoring him? Ryan smiles. Why would I be upset? You don't have feelings for him. And for Jack. Getting to spend money on you is probably the highlight of his day. Everyone at school knows he's close to Sophia now, Ella says. If I go back to him now, what does that look like? I won't do things I don't want to do just for money. Ryan pushes back. Sophia will find out about the rumor sooner or later. When she does, she'll want nothing to do with him. You'd just be reaching out as a friend. That's perfectly normal. And honestly, you don't want to watch him crash and burn with Sophia, do you? Ella stays quiet. She does agree on this point. Sophia is impressive in every way, but this is an arranged relationship. Sophia probably doesn't genuinely care for Jack. Seeing her silence, Ryan presses on carefully. If you don't know how to bring it up, I'll go talk to Jack myself. I'll ask him to take you back as his tutor. Trust me, I can make it work. Ella, whatever happens, you have to finish high school. The way things are going with your dad, I'm not even sure you'll make it to graduation. Ella looks at Ryan, but she still feels uneasy about it. She feels something close, to anger rising. Do you think I can't survive without Jack? That's not what I meant, Ryan says. Jack is only acting this way to get a reaction from me, but I'm not going to lower myself for him. And with my dad in the state, if I go to Jack and drag him into it, what kind of person does that make me? Without waiting for a response, Ella walks straight into the meeting room. After PE class that afternoon, Jack breaks away from the group and rests in the shade of a tree. Ryan strolls over. Why are you all by yourself? He asks with a well-meaning tone. Jack glances up. One look and he can tell Ryan wants something. What? Do you think I have other friends here? Ever since his falling out with Ryan and Ella, nobody else has been willing to get close to him. He doesn't have their charm. Both of them are popular, well-liked wherever they go. But Jack doesn't mind. If he actually cared about being shut out like this, he'd have lost his mind by now. Ryan sits beside Jack and takes in the clearly expensive athletic wear. He thinks Jack really does have money. Hey Jack, can I run something by you? Go ahead, Jack says. Ryan takes a breath. Would you be willing to let Ella come back as your tutor? Jack quietly shifts a little further away. Why? Ella's been having a rough time. You know what's going on with her dad? I'm aware, Jack says. What does that have to do with me? Just help her out, Ryan says, all generous sincerity. If things keep going this way, it's only going to get worse for her. It's not like you're short on money. I promise she'll take the tutoring seriously. I'll even help teach you too. Your grades will go up. And then we can all apply to the same school together. Whether Jack has the talent to actually get in is another matter, but once Ella's exams are over, she'll be free, and none of this will be his problem anymore. Jack looks at Ryan in silence. Ryan shifts uncomfortably. Why are you staring at me like that? Do I look like an idiot to you? Jack says. You and Ella are perfectly happy together, and now you're here asking me to take her on as my tutor. You think I'll just pay her a salary, and end up bankrolling both of you all over again like the fool I used to be? Ryan presses his lips together and meets Jack's gaze. It's not even a lot for you. You spent hundreds of thousands on her birthday once, that's pocket change. I'd rather donate every cent to build schools in the poorest mountain villages than give a single penny to Ella. I'm done spending money on her. I said what I said. Jack watches Ryan after saying it. He's surprised Ryan actually came to ask him this. It must have taken considerable resolve. Does he really not feel embarrassed? Ryan speaks. If the reason you hate her so much is because of me and Ella,